Chapter 2021 Blue Heaven Shatters. 2021 Blue Heaven Shatters. Soon, Xiao Hejian received the reply. He personally flew underground and faced Forest Lightning Grotto Lord. Alliance leader has said that he can let you go, but Forest Lightning Grotto Heaven must belong to the Alliance. Of course, the Alliance will not carry out any risky attempts on the Chi Harvest fruit in the Grotto Heaven. No, Forest Lightning Grotto Lord's attitude was extremely firm. This Grotto Heaven is my home, I will not give it up. It won't change owners, this is my territory, what qualifications does the Alliance have to seize it? I will look after the Lightning GU for the moment, retreat and don't try to invade again from now on. I can set an agreement with the Alliance to never seek Lightning GU. If the Alliance wants rank 9 Lightning GU, you can provide the resources to raise it in the Lightning Forest here. Xiao Hejian did not respond and only reported Forest Lightning Grotto Lord's request to Wu Shuai. Wu Shuai mumbled for a while, unable to come to a decision. He then sent this information to the main body through secret methods and let the main body decide. Fang Yuan fell into deep thought. Rank 9 Immortal GU have supreme might, it is indeed worth yielding a step. But this Lightning GU is only rank 8 currently. To raise it to rank 9, who knows how many resources and how big of a price we have to pay. And there could be many unexpected mishaps during this process. Another crucial point is that Lightning GU's information cannot be concealed, this news will definitely lead to chaos. Be they Heavenly Court, Longevity Heaven, or other forces, they will all interfere. Wu Shuai's and Qi Si ancestors' forces must have an all-out battle in the end. Fang Yuan's wisdom path attainment was deep and immediately deduced the future changes. Forest Lightning Grotto Lord concealed the secret of Lightning GU because he wanted to keep it for himself. But now that he could not keep it, he could only use this chip to negotiate. Since he could secretly contact the enemy, he would not just negotiate with Wu Shuai's alliance, he was sure to contact Qi Si ancestor. Fang Yuan's Qi Si ancestor disguise protected humanity and had allied with Heavenly Court, he could never let a variant human force like Wu Shuai's alliance obtain rank 9 Lightning GU. Thus, Qi Si ancestor would have to send troops. At that time, Forest Lightning Grotto Lord would surely curry favor with both sides and strive to win some respite. This Forest Lightning Grotto Lord truly had high astuteness and was deeply aware of the way of survival of the weak. But like this, it was bound to increase the friction between Qi Si ancestor and Wu Shuai. This was exactly what Fang Yuan had been trying to avoid. And at that time, Heavenly Court would definitely add fuel to the fire, even Longevity Heaven, Demon Immortal Qi Ju, and the 5 regions forces would stir up the situation from the dark. Although Fang Yuan was the leader of both sides, he was unable to restrict every subordinate. In the fight between these subordinates, if anyone died, Wu Shuai and Qi Si ancestor would need to take some action to preserve their side's benefit and prestige. The situation would escalate and continue being irremediable until it finally leads to an all-out battle. But if Fang Yuan suppressed the situation, this would not fit the attitudes of Wu Shuai and Qi Si ancestor. It would definitely be filled with giant loopholes in the eyes of Wisdom Path GU Immortals. Heavenly Court would start to have doubts and the whole situation would turn even more dangerous. Thus, this situation was not as simple as just a Lightning GU. This would implicate many things, it would involve variant humans, and even the overall situation of the 2 heavens and 5 regions. Fang Yuan was unable to come to a decision immediately for such a huge matter. After all, he had to think of many factors, the important thing was that his current strength had fallen. He was at his weakest state and now was the time when he needed to rest and recuperate. I remember Lightning GU was recorded in U003CU003C The Legends of Ren Zhu 003EU003E, the power it showed was quite strong. Fang Yuan browsed through U003CU003C The Legends of Ren Zhu 003EU003E. U003CU003C The Legends of Ren Zhu 003EU003E, Chapter 4, Section 30. Blazing glory, lightning brilliance and myriad gold wondrous essence were sent flying away by Fate GU and were forced to leave Ren Zhu, arriving at immemorial blue heaven. Rumble. Thunder rumbled unceasingly here, lightning flashed, imprinting the sky and forming a forest of lightning. I am angry, I am angry. The source of this lightning forest was a Lightning GU, it was roaring continuously. Blazing glory, lightning brilliance and myriad gold wondrous essence were extremely afraid. The lightning was too strong, so long as a lightning bolt struck them, they would be heavily injured or even die. They did not move at all, afraid of Lightning GU discovering them and bombarding them to death. They waited patiently for Lightning GU's anger to dissipate. They would move once it calmed down. But Lightning Gu was extremely angry, and its anger did not show any signs of decreasing. The lightning forest kept on growing in size. What should we do? Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence was worried. How can we return to Father? Brother, do you have any good suggestions? Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance shook his head, his brows furrowed. It is all Fate Gu's fault. It forcefully separated us from Father. I am definitely going to take revenge in the future. Arg, my heart hurts every time I think of Fate Gu. Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance held his chest. He found his heart aching more and more. How could this be? He quickly opened up his chest and looked at the depths of his heart. Oh, why is there a Gu in my heart? Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance was astonished. It is no wonder my heart is in constant pain. This Gu was biting on my heart. Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence also saw this Gu worm. Isn't this love Gu? I heard Father mentioning it before. No, I am hatred Gu. The Gu worm spoke. Although I look similar to love Gu on the surface. Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence urged. Hatred Gu, why are you gnawing on my brother's heart? Please stop quickly. But Hatred Gu said, I won't. I am building my home here. I am changing your brother's heart into a heart of hatred. Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance was furious. Who allowed you to build your home in my heart? Get out quickly, I don't welcome you. If you don't get out, I will crush you to death. Hatred Gu laughed loudly. I was attracted by Lightning Gu's anger, but unexpectedly discovered that your heart is more suitable for my home. I won't leave. Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance was furious. He actually put his hand inside his heart and grabbed Hatred Gu. Hatred Gu was like a curved blade without a handle. Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance's hand was pierced and bled as he grabbed it. He clenched his teeth and exerted strength, crushing Hatred Gu to death. But at the next moment, Hatred Gu resurrected from the blood and became even bigger. Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance crushed it to death again. Hatred Gu revived once again, its size becoming slightly bigger again. It is useless, Hatred Gu said. Hatred cannot be killed. Vengeance only breeds more hatred and grudges. The more you treat me like this, the more your hatred will increase. Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence was somewhat stunned and helpless against Hatred Gu. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance covered his chest, his face pale from the pain. Hatred Gu was drilling in and out of his heart, creating holes after holes, transforming his heart into a heart of hatred. The current Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance hated Fate Gu even more. If I was not sent flying here by Fate Gu, how could I have encountered Hatred Gu? How could my heart be pierced by Hatred Gu? I will definitely destroy Fate Gu, I will definitely take revenge. The more Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance thought, the more he hated. He was no longer afraid of angering Lightning Gu, he stood up suddenly. Sister, let's go, I don't want to stay here. Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance held Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence's hand. But Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence hesitated. Brother, there is lightning all around us, we don't know when it will strike, it is too dangerous. Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance said, Sister, don't be afraid. The hatred in my heart has shown me a path, that is the path of revenge. There is no lightning on this path, as long as I follow it, I can find Fate Gu and take revenge against it. Quick, follow me. Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance dragged Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence. The strange thing was that despite lightning bolts crackling around them, not a single one struck Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance and Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence. The two ran and ran when they suddenly collided into something. What is ahead? Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence touched the air in front of her and found it was like a transparent wall. This is the Heavenly Wind Chi Wall, the border of the immemorial 9 heavens. Hatred Gu explained. Brother, there is a wall ahead, we cannot leave. Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence said helplessly. But Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance had a different perspective. Where is the wall? I only see the path ahead. As long as we follow along this trail, we can definitely leave and find Fate Gu. Time and again, Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance got up and rushed forward before colliding into the Heavenly Wind Chi Wall. His head bled as he fell to the ground. Then, he climbed up and charged forward again. Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence wanted to stop him, but Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance did not listen. Hatred Gu laughed. It is useless. I have already built my home in his heart. Although his eyes are open, he can only see the path that I point towards, he cannot see any other thing. Ha ha ha. Right at this time, Lightning Gu sensed Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance and Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence. The terrifying lightning forest began to quickly spread towards them. There was no road to advance or retreat. Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence was extremely anxious but did not have any ideas. It would have been great if we still had wealth. Gu. Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance did not listen to her. He continued to collide into the heavenly wind chi wall. Blood filled the ground. Lightning Gu finally reached closer. Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence cried, "Am I going to die here?" But Lightning Gu restrained its power and approached slowly. It let out a rumbling sound. "Don't worry, oh humans, I won't harm you or injure you. On the contrary, I want your help." Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence stopped crying and asked curiously, "Lightning Gu, you are so strong, how can we possibly help you?" Lightning Gu, "I have been trapped here all along. Immemorial Blue Heaven is large but I am already sick of it. I want to go out but I am unable to find a path that leads to the outside, thus I am angry. Anger often leads to hatred, so hatred Gu was attracted here. But from your brother, I can see the path to exit. Therefore, humans, let us cooperate. I will help you break the heavenly wind chi wall and you will bring me out of here, alright?" Lightning Gu proposed. Myriad Gold Wondrous Essence and Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance were very happy at this suggestion. "I agree to it. Your help will be great," Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance replied. Thereupon, Lightning Gu landed on Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance's hand and started to emit a terrifying radiance. Hatred Gu laughed loudly, "Let me lend you a hand." Lightning Gu obtained Hatred Gu's strength and became extremely powerful. Rumble rumble, Lightning Gu erupted with fierce strength, not only destroying the heavenly wind chi wall but even shattering the whole of Immemorial Blue Heaven. "Quickly leave." Blazing Glory Lightning Brilliance was greatly shocked and knew that they had created a huge disaster. He quickly grabbed his sister and left with Lightning Gu and Hatred Gu. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2022 Heavenly Court seeks to Fi. 2022 Heavenly Court seeks to Fi. According to U003CU003C, the legends of Ren Zu 003EU003E, Hatred Gu and Lightning Gu can cooperate and amplify each other's power to form a terrifying killer move that directly destroyed Immemorial Blue Heaven. Fang Yuan read it carefully again as he wondered, did this mean that these two Gu worms could counter Heaven Path? Where were Heaven Path Dao marks most gathered in? Undoubtedly, the immemorial 9 heavens. Besides them, there was Fang Yuan's body. This seems to be an avenue to resolve my current predicament. Fang Yuan pondered. But only Lightning Gu is here, it won't work without Hatred Gu. Where is this Gu worm? Is there currently such an immortal Gu in existence? If not, how do I refine it? If it exists, the situation is even more troublesome as I will need to scheme and plan to seize it. In fact, even if I have these two core immortal Gu, it is still a mystery on how to form them into that killer move. U003CU003C The legends of Ren Zu 003EU003E is too vague about it. Just at this time, Qin Dingling personally sent a letter through Treasure Yellow Heaven. Fang Yuan opened and read it. The letter Gu directly talked about Forest Lightning Grotto Heaven's matter. Qin Dingling was very eager about Lightning Gu, and even wanted Qi Si Ancestor to stop researching the Qi Harvest fruits for the time being and led his subordinates to cooperate with Heavenly Court in fighting for Lightning Gu. Why is Heavenly Court so anxious? Fang Yuan's eyes shined with bright light. Also, they obtained the information too quickly. Looks like they have arranged some spies on Wu Shuai's side. Qin Dingling was not Fairy Ziwei after all, she was slightly hurried in doing things, which allowed Fang Yuan, who had deep wisdom path attainment, to deduce some possibilities. Since that is the case, Fang Yuan smiled bitterly. Heavenly Court's urgent letter made him come to a decision. Forest Lightning Grotto Heaven. Xiao Hejian's expression changed slightly. He had received Wu Shuai's command. His gaze turned cold as he shouted. Alliance leader sent the command to kill Forest Lightning Grotto Lord without worrying about Lightning Gu. It is nothing to lose a mere rank 8 immortal Gu. We must execute all the Gu immortals of Forest Lightning Grotto Heaven and then attempt to get rid of the Qi Harvest fruit. Don't worry about the Grotto Heaven's resources, use all your strength to complete the task in the shortest time possible. What? Hearing these words, not only Forest Lightning Grotto Lord, even Lady Cold Ash and Night Heavenly Wolf Lord were astonished. This was a future rank 9 immortal Gu, Wu Shuai gave up on it so resolutely. For an instant, none of the 3 immortals made a move due to the shock. Night Heavenly Wolf Lord was Heavenly Court's mole, he naturally thought of helping to preserve Forest Lightning Grotto Lord to harm Wu Shuai's alliance. And Lady Cold Ash was basically Spectral Soul, he also thought of preserving this point of conflict that would incite a fierce battle between Wu Shuai and Qi Si Ancestor. As long as there was chaos, he could gain many chances to act. Forest Lightning Grotto Lord suddenly shouted, Xiao Hejian, such audacity, you actually gave a false command. Wu Shuai is expanding his strength, how can he give up on the future rank 9 Immortal GU? As someone who joined recently, you truly have ill intentions. Xiao Hejian's expression turned cold from Forest Lightning Grotto Lord's incrimination. He did not retort, instead glaring at Lady Cold Ash and Night Heavenly Wolf Lord, this is our alliance leader's command. Are you going to believe a traitor or me? Attack. Saying so, Xiao Hejian did not wait for the two and charged in by himself. Bam bam bam, killer moves were let out, destroying a large portion of the lightning forest. Charge. The Alliance Immortals who were above ground also received Xiao Hejian's order and came over, besieging this lightning forest. Since the situation became like this, Lady Cold Ash and Night Heavenly Wolf Lord could not care about their own schemes, they sighed and joined the group in attacking. Wu Shuai, you are really cruel. You are so narrow-minded, you will definitely die miserably. Forest Lightning Grotto Lord knew he was going to die and let out a vicious curse while exerting strength to destroy Lightning GU. In your dreams. At the next moment, Lady Cold Ash suddenly appeared behind him. Forest Lightning Grotto Lord stiffened, Lady Cold Ash took the chance and actually seized Lightning GU from his hands. What method is this? The Immortals were astonished. Although Spectral Soul's attainment levels had fallen to a miserable level, he still had plenty of methods. The accumulation of a Venerable could not be estimated by ordinary rank 8 GU Immortals. Great job! Xiao Hejian was exulted. He had held no hope in taking Lightning GU, but who could have thought it would truly be seized? This was Lady Cold Ash's merit and his as well. By now, his Vice Alliance leader position was already half confirmed. The remaining half would be by completing the task given by Wu Shuai. Forest Lightning Grotto Lord counterattacked madly. To preserve Lightning GU, Lady Cold Ash had forcibly endured his attacks and got injured. Retreat and guard Lightning GU. Xiao Hejian quickly came to help. He blocked Forest Lightning Grotto Lord for Lady Cold Ash. To prevent interference, other Immortals began to plunder resources while watching Xiao Hejian fight Forest Lightning Grotto Lord alone. Forest Lightning Grotto Lord had already fought with Lady Cold Ash before, his condition was not optimal and almost all of his methods were exposed. Based on the superficial strength shown, Xiao Hejian was stronger than Lady Cold Ash as well. This battle held no suspense, and soon, Xiao Hejian defeated Forest Lightning Grotto Lord. Forest Lightning Grotto Lord was not resigned to being defeated and was still thinking of escaping. But the surrounding GU Immortals had been observing the battle and encircled Forest Lightning Grotto Lord with no way for him to flee. Forest Lightning Grotto Lord was beheaded and Forest Lightning Grotto Heaven was destroyed. The Alliance's experiment on the Chi Harvest fruit failed this time as well. Moreover, because Wu Shuai asked for the battle to be finished as quickly as possible, most of the resources in Forest Lightning Grotto Heaven were destroyed. The participating GU Immortals could only collect very few resources. The greatest gain was that wild rank 8 Lightning GU. But it was clear this was going to be handed to Alliance leader Wu Shuai. Fang Yuan thought for a good while before finally deciding to deal with the problem directly, getting rid of Forest Lightning Grotto Heaven so that the conflict could not grow. Wu Shuai's fast decision not only astonished the Alliance members, it even destroyed Heavenly Court's plan. Qin Dingling had obtained first-hand information from Night Heavenly Wolf Lord and immediately contacted Qi Si Ancestor. Fang Yuan received the letter. In the letter, Qin Dingling was still insisting on seizing Lightning GU even though it had already fallen into Wu Shuai's hands. Even if they could not seize Lightning GU, they had to destroy it. Looks like Heavenly Court is determined to get Lightning GU. Heavenly Court should have Lightning Gu's Immortal GU recipe, they can refine it themselves if this GU is destroyed. Fang Yuan was even more curious, why was Heavenly Court so anxious to get Lightning GU? Why did such the powerful Heavenly Court have such pressing needs for this Immortal GU? Lightning GU was not Fate GU after all. Fang Yuan did not understand Heavenly Court's scheme, but Qin Dingling's attitude made Fang Yuan's previous plan fall through. Fang Yuan made Wu Shuai destroy Forest Lightning Grotto Heaven without any regards for the safety of Lightning GU to strangle the possible conflict to death and prevent a war between the two sides. But Heavenly Court held an attitude akin to asking for battle, Fang Yuan also could not refuse it easily. After all, Qi Si Ancestor was allied with Heavenly Court. How should he deal with this? If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2023 Inviting Qi Si. 2023 Inviting Qi Si. Profound Literature Grotto Heaven, Capital City, Su Clan. There was a book house erected inside a certain guest room's courtyard. This book house was a mortal Gu house. It had the form of a tree house, covered with green leaves and branches. Right now, Li Xiaobai was sitting cross-legged inside the book house. A beautiful girl was standing in front of him. She was Su Qihan. Su Qihan's expression was somewhat serious. Xiaobai, have you really thought it through? A vital Gu cannot be changed easily. Li Xiaobai nodded with a smile. Qihan, don't be too worried. I have thought it through properly. I am most interested in composing poems. So to me, poetry Gu is the most suitable vital Gu. It was just that I was not qualified to change my vital Gu before. But since this book house has extraordinary might and has the function of assisting me in changing vital Gu, how can I let go of such a chance? Su Qihan sighed. Since you have decided, I won't urge you anymore. I will guard you from outside. Li Xiaobai did not stand on ceremony, directly closing his eyes. After he obtained this book house inheritance, he returned to the capital city and reunited with Su Qihan. Although he lost in the poetry competition, he had already proven himself. Su Qihan invited him to stay temporarily in Su Clan. No one opposed to it. Instead, this became a beautiful story. Li Xiaobai was not stingy. After staying in Su Clan, he shared this book house inheritance with Su Qihan. The two spent almost every day in the book house, continuously cultivating, researching, and communicating intimately with each other. Although the two had undergone intimate activities because of a coincidence, they did not have close feelings for each other. Su Qihan's previous actions came from her own high moral character. But over these days of contact, Su Qihan increasingly appreciated Li Xiaobai's talents and started to feel an attraction to him. Li Xiaobai obtained this fortuitous encounter but did not conceal it from Su Qihan and shared it with her. From this, Su Qihan saw that Li Xiaobai's character was pure and kind, willing to give her anything. He was definitely not a heartless scholar. Although the two had not been officially engaged, Su Qihan had already treated Li Xiaobai as her sole lifelong partner. Su Qihan walked out of the book house with worry. This book house has high value and contains many branches of information path like verses, ditties, odes and songs. However, these branches are limited to Gu master cultivation and there are no ways to advance to Gu Immortal. I have already hinted Xiaobai many times that as long as he marries into and lives in my Su clan, he can obtain Su clan's calligraphy immortal cultivation technique. Unfortunately, he has no interest in calligraphy and is wholeheartedly focused on poems. Oh, since he likes it, I have no way to persuade him otherwise. If he accomplishes nothing in the future and stays as a Gu master, I will work hard to become a Gu Immortal and an official of the imperial court. I will protect and take care of him for the rest of my life. I will watch him compose and recite poems. As long as he is happy, I am also happy. Profound Literature Grotto Heaven had an imperial court. The high-ranking officials of the imperial court were all Gu Immortals. Su Qihan was Su clan's most beloved daughter and the apple of their eye. Her aptitude and talents were astonishing as well, so it was natural for her to come in contact with Su clan's immortal cultivation technique. Young miss, you should take a rest. You will be tired if you keep on standing. With us here, great scholar Li's safety is guaranteed. The guards and the maids urged Su Qihan. Su Qihan shook her head. Stand guard outside the courtyard. I will personally guard him here. The book house started shaking. Gentle light spread from the inside to the outside through the windows. A few minutes later, the book house turned silent. The leaves and the branches were no longer shaking. Inside the book house, Li Xiaobai opened his eyes slowly. The process of changing vital Gu went smoothly. Li Xiaobai looked inside his aperture and saw a Gu worm that looked like a heart. It had a red jade-like texture and was covered by a layer of light gold radiance. It was his new vital Gu, rank 5 Gu worm, poetry. Poetry Gu was classified in information path and belonged to a side branch of information path cultivation. The most common form of information path cultivation were oaths and vows, like Sea Oath Gu, Mountain Pledge Gu, Promise Gu, Black and White Paper Gu. Second was transmitting information like Goose Gu, Paper Crane Gu, Butterfly Letter Gu, Flying Sword Letter Gu, Messenger Dove Gu, and so on. Thirdly was watching, listening, reading, and writing. For example, Water Text Gu belonged to the writing category. Beast Language Gu was related to reading and speaking. Verses, ditties, odes, songs, and so on were simply not mainstream. Li Xiaobai had made such a decision. It was no wonder Su Qihan was worried about his future prospects. But she did not know Li Xiaobai's true intention. This Grotto Heaven's environment is special as it is under the effect of the killer move, assisting literary talents. As long as I create great poems, I can obtain rewards and advance quickly. The 5 regions chaotic war is drawing close, such a way that can quickly increase one's strength with no side effect is priceless. Although Su Chi-han can get in contact with GU Immortal cultivation methods, she does not know the outside world's situation. I have changed my vital GU to poetry GU. Next, I will practice poetic GU and emotion poetry GU, use gather poem GU to gather poems externally and advance poem wall GU. Additionally, I should also practice poem boundary GU. This is an extremely outstanding GU worm which effect is similar to a battlefield killer move. Just as Li Xiaobai was thinking, the door was opened slowly and Su Chi-han entered with a concerned look. Xiaobai. Su Chi-han spoke softly. Li Xiaobai gave a light smile and nodded towards her. Everything went smoothly. Su Chi-han smiled, her beautiful watery eyes revealed delicate concern. That's good. Boom. Suddenly, the sky shook and an explosion resounded throughout the grotto heaven. What's going on? Li Xiaobai and Su Chi-han were alarmed and rushed out of the room. They looked at the sky but it was clear and blue. A gust of wind blew past them. The wind only lasted for a very short period of time, and after it passed by, there was no other abnormality. The mortals, GU masters, and even GU immortals living in the capital city sensed this suddenly appearing and disappearing abnormality. Most of the people were baffled, but a few GU immortal officials who knew the inside details were joyous. Success. In a certain area of profound literature grotto heaven, old immortal Hua Yu bowed deeply towards Qi Si ancestor in excitement. Congratulations to ancestor for successfully handling the Qi harvest fruit calamity. Ancestor has saved the whole of profound literature grotto heaven. This favor is the same as giving us new life. From now on, if you have any orders for me, I will undoubtedly use all my strength without question. Qi Si ancestor laughed heartily, lifting old immortal Hua Yu up. No need to be so courteous. The immortals standing at the side were extremely happy. Ancestor has divine might. Wu Shuai's side tested repeatedly and destroyed so many grotto heavens. Ancestor tried for the first time and succeeded. Wu Shuai can never match you. I wonder when Ancestor can resolve our Qi harvest fruit problem. Yes, our grotto heavens Qi harvest fruits have already become extremely large and are getting closer to self-detonation. GU immortals praised loudly while also urging Fang Yuan to continue his work. Fang Yuan waved his hand. This test was a success but I sensed some flaws in it. I need to be in closed cultivation for 3 days to solve this issue. At that time, I will clear up the danger for everyone. Wouldn't that be even better? The immortals were exalted. We shall listen to ancestors' arrangements. Fang Yuan smiled, a sharp light flashing across his eyes. Heavenly Court. Soon, Qin Dingling received this news and immediately showed joy. Good, good. My choice to cooperate with Qi Si ancestor was indeed correct. Qi Si ancestor did not let down their expectations, not only creating a method to resolve the Qi harvest fruit problem, but even succeeding after using it once. According to the information, profound literature grotto heaven's Qi harvest fruit was not only safely removed, the fruit also burst and formed a harmless Qi tide that swept past the whole grotto heaven and raised the grotto heaven's foundation by a good amount. Qin Dingling was in a great mood. Over this period of time, Heavenly Court had already walked out of the shadow of defeat in the Fate War. With Qin Dingling and the other Heavenly Court immortals' schemes and efforts, good news came one after another. Firstly, the variant human forces were restrained. Secondly, Qing Chou was captured, and now, the Qi harvest fruit's danger was eliminated. But now, should we get rid of the Qi harvest fruit in Heavenly Court first or try to fight for Lightning GU? Qin Dingling could not come to a decision by herself and gathered the Heavenly Court immortals for a meeting. Qi Si ancestor is worthy of being a Qi path great expert. With this method, his force will be stable and in an impregnable position. Wu Shuai's alliance is still experimenting with various methods. Their Qi path attainment is too shallow. As long as Qi Si ancestor defers for some time, there might not even be a need to start a fight and Wu Shuai's alliance will break apart by itself. Qin Dingling shook her head at this optimistic plan. Wu Shuai is a formidable person. Even a rabbit will bite if it is forced to a corner, let alone this dragon man. Once he obtains this news, he might immediately lead his troops to fight Qi Si ancestor. That's right, Qi Si ancestor can safely remove the Qi harvest fruits, but Wu Shuai cannot. The longer their fight is delayed, the more unfavorable it is to Wu Shuai. It is very likely for Wu Shuai to send his troops. In that case, we have to move ahead of time and ask Qi Si ancestor to resolve the Qi harvest fruit in Heavenly Court. You are right. Once the battle starts, Qi ancestor will not be able to deal with too many matters, he will definitely have to bear the full force attack from Wu Shuai. The situation is already like a conflict between fire and water, the fight won't be stopped easily once it starts, and it might really be a life and death battle. Qin Dingling looked at 9 Spiritual Fairy. How is the refinement of hatred Gu going? 9 Spiritual Fairy shook her head. There has been a breakthrough just recently. Hatred Gu's condition is extremely strange, it has already merged into Qing Chou. We found a method to refine hatred Gu just recently. It will take quite long to refine hatred Gu. But the good news is that if we succeed, we can manipulate Qing Chou as well. Qin Dingling nodded. Since hatred Gu has yet to be obtained completely, there is no need to hurry in seizing lightning Gu. We will conceal this news as much as possible and invite Qi ancestor to come to Heavenly Court secretly and deal with the Qi harvest fruit. After finishing this matter, we will then fight with Wu Shuai. The immortals did not have any objections. But how should we reward Qi ancestor? A Gu immortal asked. This is not difficult. Qi ancestor is very interested in the Qi path immortal Gu in my Heavenly Court's treasury. In the previous letters, he had repeatedly asked to borrow these Qi path immortal Gu, but I did not agree and kept on making excuses. Qin Dingling smiled. Another Gu immortal added. We also need to be on guard against another person, Demon Immortal Qi Ju. Qin Dingling nodded. I have also considered it. This demon is also a Qi path great expert. If he collaborates with Wu Shuai, it will balance the situation of both sides again. He is a huge threat. It is difficult to track Demon Immortal Qi Ju, who knows where he has gone now. He has just revived and is not familiar with the various paths of the present age. He is currently purchasing Qi path immortal materials in Treasure Yellow Heaven and exchanging for inheritances of every path. He is taking even Gu master inheritances. Wu Shuai has chips to transact with him. Qin Dingling stressed once again. So the current plan is to immediately invite Qi ancestor to Heavenly Court while hiding the information and striving for every second we can get. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2024 Strategies of the Three Parties. 2024 Strategies of the Three Parties. Within Dragon Palace, the atmosphere was heavy. The situation has become like this, what do you all think about it? Wu Shuai was the only person seated. He had already gathered the Alliance's immortals and explained to them the actions that Qi ancestor took inside Profound Literature Grotto Heaven. Heavenly Court tried all ways to conceal the information, but at the same time, Wu Shuai informed all of the Gu immortals within the Two Heavens Alliance. After hearing this nightmarish news, the response was huge as all of the immortals' expressions changed. Is this for real? Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch asked immediately before reacting to what he had said. His face turned pale. I am not questioning Lord Alliance leader, but this is truly too sudden and surprising. Wu Shuai snorted coldly. Do I need to lie to you? This is not good. Xiao Hejian's expression was solemn. Qi ancestor is a Qi path great expert. Since Demon Immortal Qi Ju was able to use a Qi harvest fruit to revive, then there is also a high chance that Qi ancestor can get rid of the threatening Qi harvest fruits. If the enemy has a method to get rid of the Qi harvest fruits, they will have a complete upper hand in this situation. Indeed, indeed. What do we do now? My tribe's Grotto Heaven's Qi harvest fruit has already grown to a huge size. If we do not get rid of it, it will explode soon. But our experiments have not succeeded once, we already ruined many Grotto Heavens. It is impossible for us to come to a peaceful truce with Qi ancestor. We should be wary of them using this chance to attack us. The immortals discussed as their tone contained fear and panic. Spectral Soul, who was acting as Lady Cold Ash, stood among them, cheering secretly. He wanted the war to start as soon as possible. If there was chaos, he would gain a great opportunity to take action. Night Heavenly Wolf Lord showed the same attitude as the rest, but he was happy on the inside. He had already joined Heavenly Court. This situation was very advantageous to him. Panicking to this degree, what a disgrace. Gu tribe's leader suddenly shouted. Everyone looked towards him. Even though Gu tribe's leader joined the Two Heavens Alliance, he had always been silent. But everyone knew that he was the closest person to Wu Shuai. In terms of Wu Shuai's trust, he surpassed Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch and Xiao Hejian, who were both Vice Alliance leaders. Gu tribe's leader suddenly spoke. Xiao Hejian shook internally as he realized something. Before he spoke, Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch had already taken the initiative. With Lord Alliance leader here, we have nothing to fear. At this crucial juncture of life and death, I am willing to follow Lord Alliance leader and listen to your commands. Xiao Hejian cursed internally, but he quickly followed. I will listen to Lord Alliance leader's decision. Wu Shuai nodded slightly, snorting. The current situation is critical. If we sit and wait here, we will definitely perish. There is no exception. We have to fight with all our strength now for a hope of survival. They are able to eliminate the Qi harvest fruit because of Qi Si Ancestor's method. As long as we do our best and kill Qi Si Ancestor, we will gain complete victory. Even if we cannot kill him, as long as we gravely injure him, the situation will also be alleviated. After Wu Shuai said that, GU tribe's leader immediately shouted, Alliance leader is wise. Wu Shuai looked at Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch and Xiao Hejian. These two Vice Alliance leaders immediately shouted, Alliance leader is wise, this plan is superb. What ideas do you all have? If anyone has a better suggestion, you can tell us now. Wu Shuai purposely asked the other GU Immortals. But what ideas could these people have? In fact, Wu Shuai said he was going to attack the enemies because he had no other choice now. This was their only hope. Other than this, could they surrender to Qi Si Ancestor? It was not that they did not know this, but nobody had the guts to say it. Forest Lightning Grotto Heaven was the best example. Everyone saw that pitiful end. Who would still dare to follow in its footsteps? Since everyone agrees, we will discuss about the way we will send our troops. We will use our time efficiently and catch the enemy off guard. Wu Shuai said as he decided with lightning speed. GU tribe's leader added. Lord Alliance leader is right. Every second we waste now will mean the enemy gets an additional second of advantage. Immediately, the Immortals started to discuss their offensive strategy. This discussion lasted nearly an hour before they came up with a refined plan. Wu Shuai opened the door of Dragon Palace, ordering the Immortals to make preparations. They would move out in 7 days. Night Heavenly Wolf Lord returned to Night Wolf Grotto Heaven. He mobilized his forces and gathered more troops while quickly informing Heavenly Court of this new development. After Qin Dingling received the information, she summoned the Heavenly Court Immortals for a meeting. The situation has changed. It seems that Wu Shuai has some spies around Qi Si Ancestor. Like I said before, we cannot underestimate Wu Shuai. Since Wu Shuai is going to take the initiative to attack, let's use this chance to take him down. That will be hard. They have Dragon Palace and Di Zhangsheng to defend them. Unless we can awaken some immortals from the graveyard, we will not have sufficient strength to deal with the enemies. Time is too pressing. We have 7 days and the situation will occur far away in Eastern Sea. We can only inform Qi Si Ancestor now and ask him to make preparations while pretending to be ignorant. When Wu Shuai attacks, he will definitely suffer a setback. Did you forget that Wu Shuai has spies around Qi Si Ancestor? If Qi Si Ancestor learns this information from us, it will also likely alert Wu Shuai. Prince Feng Xian suddenly spoke at this time. Why must we inform Qi Si Ancestor? The discussion suddenly stopped. Qi Si Ancestor is our ally. If we do not tell him about this, it will not benefit our alliance. Prince Feng Xian shook his head slowly as he smiled. As long as we keep quiet, why would Qi Si Ancestor find out that we know this? Our spy in the Two Heavens Alliance has always been kept as a secret. If we tell him now, the spy might get exposed. We ally with Qi Si Ancestor because we need his strength to resolve Heavenly Court's problem of the Qi harvest fruit. We also want to use him as our pawn to gather an external force that can resist the variant human forces from getting stronger. Prince Feng Xian continued to speak. And thirdly, if possible, we want to recruit Qi Si Ancestor into becoming a Heavenly Court member. Qin Dingling looked at Prince Feng Xian. Then in your opinion, what should we do? Prince Feng Xian breathed in deeply. In my humble opinion, we should pretend that we do not know this and act according to our original plan. Now that Qi Si Ancestor has already secretly moved out, he will arrive in Heavenly Court in 3 days. By then, we can get him to solve our problem of the Qi harvest fruit. Heavenly Court is huge and has immense foundation. The Qi harvest fruit here is the largest in the world. Qi Si Ancestor suggested us to create a Qi Path Immortal formation. It will take at least 6 days to get rid of the Qi harvest fruit. We can purposely delay the formation creation time. If Wu Shuai's invasion succeeds, Qi Si Ancestor's force will suffer a huge loss. Qi Si Ancestor will become anxious and want to return to help them, but as the person controlling the formation, how can he leave? Qi Si Ancestor's force will be without a leader. They will not be able to defeat Wu Shuai. In fact, even if they get wiped out, so what? Our strength will not fall while Qi Si Ancestor will become a loner. By coming to Heavenly Court secretly and failing to protect his force, causing its destruction, his reputation will fall to rock bottom. Eastern Sea's GU Immortal world will also look down on him. Who would respect someone who goes missing in battle while helping forces of other regions? At that point, Chi Si ancestor will understand that his status in Eastern Sea will never recover. By then, we will have no worries anymore, we can send people to take revenge for him. During the process, we can move him with logic and emotion, by tempting him with future gains, I am sure there is a high chance we can get him to join Heavenly Court. The immortals were silent, they looked at each other before looking towards Prince Feng Xian. At this moment, all of the immortals' gazes became different from before. After hearing Prince Feng Xian's strategy, their impression towards him changed completely. Prince Feng Xian's arms were behind his back, he stopped speaking as he smiled. This scheme was vicious, none of the GU immortals here thought of it except him, the reason was because of his own life experiences. Prince Feng Xian came from Spirit Affinity House, he was used as a spy initially to develop in Northern Plains. After many years, he became rank 8 and also married into Gong tribe, he was the strongest spy in Northern Plains that came from Central Continent. Heavenly Court's GU immortals have been too used to being overlords, their mindsets were also too fixed in place. But all of the immortals here were rank 8 elites, they soon understood that Prince Feng Xian's plan was the most advantageous to Heavenly Court. Even if Wu Shuai claims victory, so what? Only the grotto heavens in the two heavens would suffer. Even if Eastern Sea gets involved in the fight, its foundation would not be affected. Even if Eastern Sea's righteous path was toppled, that would only be one region. Humanity would still be the ruler of the world. All right, Qin Dingling looked at everyone's expressions as she said, making a decision, we will act according to Prince Feng Xian's proposal. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2025 3 Chi Immortal GU. 2025 3 Chi Immortal GU. Heavenly Court was constantly filled with bright light. Fang Yuan, who was disguised as Chi Si ancestor, had already arrived in Heavenly Court. He floated in the air as he observed the Chi harvest fruit in front of him. The Chi harvest fruit in Heavenly Court was large beyond common sense, it was like a towering mountain range, vast and colossal. Such a huge Chi harvest fruit cannot even fit in an ordinary rank 8 grotto heaven, it will destroy the aperture walls from its sheer size. Only Heavenly Court has such a deep foundation, and because of the use of Kang Zonzi's space path fruits, the space inside is large enough to accommodate this Chi harvest fruit. Fang Yuan sighed internally. The last time he came to Heavenly Court, he had participated in the Fate War with his original appearance and caused Heavenly Court to lose badly. This time, he was acting as Heavenly Court's friend, he was here to resolve their problem of the Chi harvest fruit. Changes in situations and circumstances were often hard to predict. How is it? Qin Dingling stood beside Fang Yuan, asking. Fang Yuan nodded. This is the first time I've seen such a huge Chi harvest fruit, it shows that your foundation is truly unfathomable, this is truly the #1 force in the world. After pausing for a while, Fang Yuan continued. After my inspection earlier, even though my method is effective, this Chi harvest fruit is too big. We need to set up the Immortal Formation first, the larger the Chi Path Immortal Formation, the more time we can save. Qin Dingling was slightly surprised. Ancestor, to think that you have already come up with the Immortal Formation's design. Fang Yuan shook his head. No, the Chi Path Immortal Formation that we will set up is only going to amplify my Chi Path killer moves. The actual way to get rid of the Chi harvest fruit is still through the Chi Path killer moves that I will use. Qin Dingling nodded upon hearing this, the explanation was logical. She smiled as she took out a Chi Path rank 8 Immortal GU. Heavenly Court does not lack Chi Path Immortal GU. To resolve the problem of the Chi harvest fruit, Heavenly Court is willing to use up our Chi Path resources. Ancestor, look at this Immortal GU. Fang Yuan's attention was drawn to this Immortal GU. Don't tell me this is human Chi Immortal GU. Fang Yuan's pupils expanded as his expression changed. Human Chi Immortal GU resembled a bee, it was thumb-sized and constantly moved its wings, floating above Qin Dingling's palm, it emitted a cloud-like Chi. Qin Dingling handed human Chi Immortal GU to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan extended his hand and held the GU, he looked at it fixedly and praised. Good GU, good GU. This GU is related to human path, it has immense potential for development. Qin Dingling smiled as she took out a second Immortal GU, handing it to Fang Yuan. This was Earth Chi Immortal GU, it resembled a butterfly, brown in color, it also gave off a cloud-like Chi. Fang Yuan's left hand held human Chi Immortal GU while his right hand held Earth Chi Immortal GU. He looked at them with great interest. Wonderful, wonderful. And this is Heaven Chi Immortal GU. Qin Dingling said as she passed Fang Yuan a third rank 8 Immortal GU. Heaven Chi Immortal Gu resembled a dragonfly. It was green in color and had 8 pairs of thin bluish wings. When it moved its wings, its entire body would emit a translucent Chi current. Fang Yuan had a solemn expression. This Heaven Chi Immortal Gu is tightly connected with Heaven Path. Truthfully speaking, the method that I created to get rid of the Chi harvest fruit only succeeded after I comprehended a trace of Heaven Path's profundity. If I had this Gu, I would have succeeded much earlier. Gu immortals cultivate all sorts of paths. Human path and Heaven Path are the most unique. Ancestor, you have already reached the peak of Chi path, thus you are able to mimic other paths easily and comprehend the true meaning of various paths. Qin Dingling praised before changing her words. These 3 Chi Immortal Gu are the core of Triple Chi Retraction Killer Move. They are priceless treasures of Heavenly Court. Only Heavenly Court members can have them. Qin Dingling saw Fang Yuan's expression and felt internally happy. She hinted to him that these Gu worms would be available if he joined Heavenly Court. After hearing this, Fang Yuan showed a hesitant expression, but he was smiling to himself internally. All of the expressions he showed were just an act. If he really cultivated Chi path solely, these 3 Chi Immortal Gu would be incredibly alluring. Fang Yuan had tried many times already. These 3 Chi path Immortal Gu were the cores of Triple Chi Retraction. They could not be replaced. If he used other Chi path Immortal Gu in place of them, even if he manages to create a Triple Chi Retraction Killer Move, its value in battle would fall drastically. Thus, even though Fang Yuan had the complete primordial origin Chi path true inheritance now, he did not benefit much from it. Furthermore, Chi Si Ancestor was just one of Fang Yuan's identities. He also had no lack of rank 8 Immortal Gu. Attitude, Mutation, Wisdom Sword, Years Flow Like Water, Soul Beast Token, Regret, Spring, Summer, Big Chi, Region, Addition, Steel Life, Water Refinement, Advance Refinement, Dream Token. He simply had too many of them. In Fang Yuan's eyes, only rank 9 Immortal Gu could truly excite him. But rank 9 Immortal Gu were too rare. He originally had one, which was Wisdom Gu. But this Immortal Gu was tampered by Giant Sun Immortal Venerable long ago. He had no choice but to sacrifice it in the Fate War. Qin Dingling lent all 3 Chi Immortal Gu and let Chi Si Ancestor familiarize himself with them. She also arranged several Gu Immortals to modify the Chi Path Immortal Gu formation with Chi Si Ancestor. Having everyone's help, the Chi Path Immortal formation was finalized in a few days. Fang Yuan and the Heavenly Court Immortals started to set up the formation. This Chi Path formation's main owner was naturally Fang Yuan. But in the other formation cores, there would be Heavenly Court's Gu Immortals stationed. They could help him out while also supervising his actions. Chi Si Ancestor was an outsider after all. Even though he underwent an alliance agreement, he was still not a Heavenly Court member. How could Heavenly Court not guard against him? The truth was, the assisting Gu Immortals were not the only ones guarding against him. The core Immortal Gu of this Chi Path formation, Heaven Chi, Earth Chi, and Human Chi, were temporarily lent to Fang Yuan by Qin Dingling. If any situation occurs, Heavenly Court could immediately take them back and make Fang Yuan lose control of the entire Chi Path formation. This Chi Path formation was modified along with several Heavenly Court Gu Immortals. Even if they had low Chi Path attainment, they still had general knowledge. It was hard to deceive them. Also, Fang Yuan did not conceal anything inside this Chi Path formation. The formation was definitely not an issue. Earth Chi Gu, go! Fang Yuan first tossed Earth Chi Immortal Gu as he instilled Immortal Essence. Earth Chi Immortal Gu quickly flew out. It went into the ground below the Chi harvest fruit. Boom! Suddenly, with a loud explosion, the ground below the Chi harvest fruit started to shake. Earth Chi started to rise up continuously. Fang Yuan started to collect the Earth Chi. The Heavenly Court Gu Immortals around him also took action. Some helped with the gathering while others set up small formations around the small holes that the Earth Chi emerged from. While Fang Yuan was setting up his formation, deep underground at another area of Heavenly Court, there was a huge underground square. Qing Chao's mountain-like body was deep within this underground square, unmoving like a statue. Bam! Suddenly, a loud sound could be heard from afar. The underground square shook slightly. Several cracks appeared on the ground. But Red Heart Traveler, who was defending this place, was not flustered. He immediately acted to stabilize the situation. The cracks on the ground could be seen disappearing at an observable rate. What's the commotion? Qing Cho suddenly spoke, but strangely, its voice was actually 9 spiritual fairies. 9 spiritual fairy was actually inside Qing Chao's body, trying to forcefully refine hatred Gu. From this commotion, Chi Si Ancestor must have started to create his formation. He used Earth Chi Immortal GU as the first foundation of the formation. It involved the Earth vein. Meanwhile, we are at one of the main Earth veins, thus we could feel the influence. Red Heart Traveler spoke. Earlier, you were at a crucial moment, so I did not inform you of this. But don't worry, this cannot interrupt our plan. 9 spiritual fairies stopped worrying as she said. Then let's hurry up. If we can refine hatred GU at the same time as the elimination of the Chi harvest fruit, Heavenly Court will have a double celebration. Heavenly Court's GU immortals had already recovered from the trauma of the Fate War. They became braver after the humiliation, they worked harder and had greater morale now. Days later, the Chi Path formation was created. Fang Yuan was the main user and activated his method to eliminate the Chi harvest fruit. The Chi harvest fruit was continuously shaved off from Fang Yuan's killer move, but this Chi harvest fruit in Heavenly Court was just too big, some time was needed to completely destroy it. Days passed, the Chi harvest fruit was removed by over 10%. Qin Dingling hurried to Fang Yuan as she showed a solemn expression. Ancestor, the situation in Eastern Sea has changed, this is not good. Fang Yuan looked shocked. What happened? Wu Shuai suddenly led his alliance to launch an invasion. They have split into 3 groups, they are attacking the Grotto Heaven forces that have submitted to our side. Because we were caught off guard, our losses are quite severe. Qin Dingling said. News that I came here should have been kept a secret. How did this happen? How did Wu Shuai find out so quickly? Fang Yuan's expression changed, there was anxiety in his tone. Ancestor, you want to return to help Eastern Sea? Qin Dingling purposely asked. That is so. Fang Yuan frowned. But this method needs my full attention, if I stop halfway, there might be problematic consequences. Qin Dingling cupped her fists at Fang Yuan. Ancestor, please consider the big picture. It is unexpected that Wu Shuai attacked so soon, but if you return now, that will be what Wu Shuai wants to see. Only after eliminating the Chi harvest fruit can we have a safe territory to count on. By then, you can lead our Heavenly Court's immortals to return to Eastern Sea and retaliate. You can say that you went to seek reinforcement from Heavenly Court, but Wu Shuai attacked and trapped you temporarily. By gathering our strength, we will kill Wu Shuai and get rid of the Two Heavens Alliance. That is the true way to seek victory. Fang Yuan did not speak, he only looked at Qin Dingling deeply. Long after, he spoke in a grim tone. Wu Shuai attacked with his full force, he must have been prepared for this. Does Heavenly Court know of their plans in advance? Definitely not. Qin Dingling shook her head, showing a firm expression. Fang Yuan snorted coldly, he showed a struggling expression as he sighed helplessly. Forget it, I will stay here and control the formation until we get rid of the Chi harvest fruit. But during this time, I need Heavenly Court to send people to assist Eastern Sea. Qin Dingling sighed as well, we will do our best. Fang Yuan gritted his teeth as he said, once I get rid of the Chi harvest fruit, I will need to return and help them. But these days of unceasingly controlling the formation will cause my battle strength to fall. I need Heavenly Court to give me the 3 Chi Immortal GU to kill the enemies and claim victory. Qin Dingling's expression changed, even though Fang Yuan spoke politely, his request for reward was really absurd, it far exceeded Qin Dingling's bottom line. She rejected as she shook her head. The 3 Chi Immortal GU are the treasures of Heavenly Court, only our members can. Before she finished, Fang Yuan interrupted, Eastern Sea's immortals are all my subordinates. Qin Dingling still shook her head. We will remember ancestors' sacrifice, but even as Heavenly Court's leader, I cannot give you 3 rank 8 immortal GU. At most, we can give you 1 as compensation. How can 1 GU compensate for the people in the Grotto Heavens? Fang Yuan showed slight anger. Boom. While the two were negotiating, a loud sound could be heard in the sky. A rank 8 immortal GU house directly charged in with a fierce aura. Heavenly Court's immortals were all shocked. The immortal GU house that invaded Heavenly Court was Dragon Palace. How can this be? Qin Dingling could not waste time with Fang Yuan anymore, she immediately flew out of the formation to face the enemies. Dragon Palace's door opened as Wu Shuai sat on his throne, speaking from deep within Dragon Palace, Qin Dingling, we meet again. Wu Shuai, why are you here? Qin Dingling shouted as several GU immortals gathered behind her. Wu Shuai smiled coldly as he kicked a head that was near his feet. This head fell from the stairs of the Dragon Throne, rolling into Central Great Hall. The person had died with his eyes wide open, it was Night Heavenly Wolf Lord. Old scoundrel Chi Si can get rid of Chi harvest fruits, your Heavenly Court wants to conceal this information and secretly eliminate your internal threat. Hee, wishful thinking, I am here to destroy your Heavenly Court and also kill that old scoundrel Chi Si, let's see who in this world can stop my rise to supremacy. Wu Shuai said that as he stood upright, he waved his hand and shouted, "Kill!" At the next moment, immortals rushed out of Dragon Palace, attacking with ferocious expressions. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2026 Fang Yuan appears. 2026 Fang Yuan appears. Central continent, deep beneath a certain earth trench. Fairy Ziwei controlled the wisdom path formation, purple light flickered within it without spreading out. Within the formation, other than Bai Ningbing, He Lu Lan, and Ying Wu Xie, there was Fairy Miao Yin and Lady White Rabbit, as well as several other GU immortals. After the Fate War, these GU immortals were all left outside by Fang Yuan. Fairy Ziwei and the rest worked together with Bing Sai Chuan's group, capturing all of these people. As the purple light faded, the formation stopped working. Fairy Miao Yin's expression was uncertain while Lady White Rabbit had anger in her eyes. They were both unable to move. "Aren't you surrendering?" Ying Wu Xie laughed coldly. "HMPH, you traitor!" Lady White Rabbit shouted angrily. Bai Ningbing also came over with a cold and indifferent expression. "I would advise you to reconsider. After all, you have just lost your greatest value." Fairy Miao Yin heard this. She became more uncertain. At this moment, Fairy Ziwei stored away the formation as she stood up. She was very weak now after using her full strength to make the deduction. The cost was high. But joy was apparent on her face. It looks like she succeeded. Bing Sai Chuan was waiting outside the formation. He smiled upon seeing this. He Lu Lan walked towards Bing Sai Chuan from Fairy Ziwei's position, stopping behind him. Fairy Ziwei smiled lightly. "We have enough clues, we achieved success. I have already deduced Fang Yuan's location. Guess where this crafty demon is hiding?" Bing Sai Chuan frowned. "Your question is an obvious hint in itself. Don't tell me that this scoundrel Fang Yuan has been hiding in Heavenly Court." Fairy Ziwei nodded. "According to my deductions, he is indeed in Heavenly Court now." The immortals heard this and showed varying expressions. Ying Wu Xie gritted his teeth. "He is crafty indeed. His departure from Heavenly Court earlier was just a smokescreen. He must have been hiding in Heavenly Court all along." Old man Zheng Yuan sighed. "No wonder we could not find his main body." Bai Ningbing laughed loudly, praising, "Exciting. This is truly Fang Yuan's attitude." Bing Sai Chuan frowned. But how could he possibly hide until now without getting detected by Heavenly Court's GU immortals? Fairy Ziwei's eyes flickered with bright light. "I can only deduce that he is in Heavenly Court now. He might not have been there the entire time. But in terms of ability, this demon is unfathomable. His growth is too fast. Every time he fights, his enemies will see an explosive growth in his strength." Bing Sai Chuan sighed. "Now that Fang Yuan is hiding in Heavenly Court, what can we do? Do we go and attack Heavenly Court? Should we inform Heavenly Court about this and let them kill him? But wouldn't that allow them to get all of his inheritances?" Bing Sai Chuan represented Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. They cared about the benefits of Northern Plains longevity heaven. Furthermore, they had spent a lot of effort to deduce Fang Yuan's location. Telling Heavenly Court about it was quite a loss for them. Old man Zheng Yuan reminded. "No matter what, we need to tell our master about this important information." Fairy Ziwei replied. "I have already reported it to master when I stored the formation away." Heavenly Court. Intense battle erupted. Boom. Lady Cold Ash dodged with rapid speed, avoiding the explosion of a killer move. She was the disguise of Spectral Soul. He had just received Fairy Ziwei's information. He was not in a good mood. "Fang Yuan is in Heavenly Court now." "Of course he is. I knew about that long ago." Memories surfaced in Spectral Soul's mind regarding the event that happened days ago. The GU immortals were called to assemble in Dragon Palace. Wu Shuai used the excuse that they were going to discuss the matter about attacking Qi Si ancestor. But halfway through the meeting, Wu Shuai suddenly took action. Dragon Palace roared. Night Heavenly Wolf Lord was caught off guard. He was hit by the killer move Dreamy Light Smoke and was taken down without putting up a fight. "Everyone, don't panic. This person is a spy in our alliance. He is the informant of Heavenly Court." Wu Shuai pacified the immortals while taking out evidence. Looking at the concrete evidence, the immortals were shocked and furious. They wanted Night Wolf Grotto Heaven to pay the price for this betrayal. Wu Shuai shook his head. "We definitely need to punish Night Heavenly Wolf Lord, but the urgent matter is not this. We need to look at the big picture." GU Tribe's leader frowned. "Lord Alliance leader, because of this traitor Night Heavenly Wolf Lord, our plan to attack has been exposed. If we go ahead with it, we will no longer hit our enemies by surprise." Wu Shuai smiled grimly. "There is important information I have yet to tell you." Qi ancestor is not in Eastern Sea now, he has already gone to Central Continent's heavenly court many days ago. This is good news. Many GU immortals heard this and rejoiced. But Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch's expression was grim. What's good about this? The reason why we are attacking Qi ancestor is because of his ability to get rid of the Qi harvest fruits for others. Now that he is not around, what is the point of our assault? The GU immortals who cheered became stunned. After realizing the situation, the atmosphere in Dragon Palace became much grimmer. Don't worry, everyone, Wu Shuai spoke as everyone's gazes landed on him. He continued, it is quite simple to resolve this problem. Since Qi ancestor has gone to Central Continent's heavenly court, we will also head to heavenly court and kill Qi ancestor who is over there. What? This? The GU immortals in the palace hesitated. It is not easy to attack heavenly court. Heavenly court is the #1 human force in the world, even though it lost in the Fate War, we cannot possibly defeat it. Many GU immortals wanted to give up. But Wu Shuai snorted coldly, you fools. He scolded them in public. The loud noises in the palace became silent, all of the GU immortals did not dare to speak anymore. Why aren't you thinking about the reason why heavenly court invited Qi ancestor to visit them in secret? Wu Shuai purposely asked with a stiff expression. Xiao Hejian, who reacted quickly, said instantly, does this mean that heavenly court also has the problem of the Qi harvest fruit? Wu Shuai chuckled. Your grotto heavens have the problem of the Qi harvest fruit. Heavenly court is also a grotto heaven situated in White Heaven, why wouldn't they have the same problem? After hearing this, the immortals realized at once. This was actually just their own mentality. In their mind, heavenly court was the supreme organization, even though it lost the Fate War, they still displayed terrifying might and foundation. They had only lost because of enemies like Fang Yuan and Red Lotus Demon Venerable. From the variant human GU immortals' perspective, this was not an illogical loss, it did not undermine heavenly court's terrifying strength. And because of this, the variant human GU immortals subconsciously thought that even if heavenly court had the problem of the Qi harvest fruit, they could resolve it themselves. After all, heavenly court was created by primordial origin Immortal Venerable, who became venerable through Qi path. Lord Alliance leader is wise. Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch patted his forehead. Heavenly court invited Qi ancestor to resolve their threat of the Qi harvest fruit, because even though they have their Qi path inheritance, they lack a Qi path GU immortal. Also, why did heavenly court choose to ally with Qi ancestor? Other than wanting to resist us, they also want to alleviate their own problems. Precisely. Wu Shuai looked at Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch with an expression of praise. You guys are not too stupid after all. Heavenly court is at its weakest state now, while Qi ancestor has gone to resolve the Qi harvest fruit problem. As long as we attack them during this period, the result will be shocking when we catch them unguarded. If we attack heavenly court before Qi ancestor starts working on the Qi harvest fruit, we will attack the Qi harvest fruit and force them to go on the defensive. This way, we will hold the initiative and be able to retreat or advance at will. If Qi ancestor is using his killer move to eliminate the Qi harvest fruit while we attack heavenly court, that will be even better. We can disrupt him with our full strength and cause Qi ancestor's killer move to fail and suffer a backlash. If we work harder, we might be able to kill him on the spot. Wu Shuai said calmly, but what if Qi ancestor has already gotten rid of the Qi harvest fruit by the time we attack heavenly court? A GU immortal asked with caution. Wu Shuai snorted coldly. Heavenly court's foundation is too deep. Their Qi harvest fruit is also very extraordinary. If Qi ancestor spends effort to get rid of it, his own condition will definitely slip. Of course, this is just the worst case scenario, but we are in an urgent situation in the first place, we will need to take risks for any hope. Other than this, do you have other ideas? Facing Wu Shuai's question, everyone was silent. In this situation, they had no choice but to follow Wu Shuai and attack heavenly court. But, many of the GU immortals were still hesitant, including their Vice Alliance leaders, Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch and Xiao Hejian. Or perhaps, we can try to experiment and find a way to get rid of the Qi harvest fruit. A GU immortal asked softly. Wu Shuai's expression sank a little, he scolded in his head. These variant human GU immortals have been cowards for too long, they have absolutely no courage to take risks. But Wu Shuai predicted this earlier, he started to laugh. Why is Lord Alliance leader laughing? GU tribe's leader asked. Wu Shuai stopped his laughter as he said, the truth is, I am also worried about bringing you fools to attack heavenly court. But I have invited a strong reinforcement to help us, because of him, I learned about Night Heavenly Wolf Lord's betrayal. Oh, who? The immortals were curious. Lady Cold Ash's gaze flickered, having a guess. At this moment, from behind Wu Shuai, a GU immortal walked out. He wore a white robe, his black hair extended to his waist, he had a peerless face with divine brilliance, cold light oozed out of his abyss-like eyes. Ah, Fang Yuan, it's him, it really is him. The immortals' pupils shrunk as their expressions changed, all of them were shocked. Under everyone's gaze, Fang Yuan spoke slowly in a cold tone, Heavenly Court has gone too far, now that I have regained my strength, I am about to attack them. Without Duke Long, who can stop me? His voice resounded in the palace, nobody dared to retort to him. Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch and the rest had palpitating hearts, with a monster like Fang Yuan leading them, they gained a huge boost in morale and confidence. Fang Yuan was someone who had defeated Heavenly Court, his battle strength was apparent to the whole world. Undeniably, he was the #1 demon in the current world. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2027 Heavenly Court, S Crisis. 2027 Heavenly Court, S Crisis. Roar. The evil dragon's roar shook heaven and earth, whipping up storms and clouds. Its mountain range-like body moved at the front, followed by the immortals of the Two Heavens Alliance, and finally, Dragon Palace at the end. Primordial Chi Wall. This was the method left by Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable. It appeared once again when Heavenly Court was attacked, but it could not stop the Zhang Sheng's advancement. The 5 regions became one. This evil dragon has gotten much stronger. Furthermore, ever since the Fate War, after Fang Yuan broke the Primordial Chi Wall, even though it recovered a little, it is much weaker than before. Qin Dingling frowned. She quickly analyzed the situation. With just the Primordial Chi Wall, they could stall for some time, but they could not stop this evil dragon. Lady Qin, do you need me to battle? At this moment, 9 spiritual fairy transmitted and asked. Heavenly Court once had transformation path grade experts, Zhang Fei Shang and Flesh Whip Immortal, but now they were dead. 9 spiritual fairy was the only transformation path grade expert left. No, we are only one step away from subduing Qing Chou, continue to refine hatred GU. Qin Dingling transmitted before shouting. Shabi 95, Ruan Dan, aren't you going to fight yet? Hearing a tiger roar and crane cry at once, 2 legendary immemorial desolate beasts appeared in front of Di Zhang Sheng. The 3 legendary immemorial desolate beasts fought intensely, causing the entire place to rumble. After just a few rounds, Ruan Dan and Shabi 95 started to retreat. They were in pitiful states, with just physical brawling, they were not Di Zhang Sheng's match. Thus, they started to use killer moves. Instantly, gray light shot out like blades, pill light exploded. Di Zhang Sheng roared, purple gold light appeared on its body, blocking all of the offensive killer moves. Next, the golden light faded away. Di Zhang Sheng's whiskers grew out rapidly, each of them shot out like countless snakes, the commotion was huge. Facing this attack, Shabi 95 and Ruan Dan had to retreat. This evil dragon actually has immortal GU now, it can use killer moves. Qin Dingling's heart sank, she took a look at Dragon Palace. Di Zhang Sheng was a legendary immemorial beast to begin with, it had superior intelligence and could use GU worms to activate killer moves. But before the Fate War, it was enslaved by Dragon Palace and had no time to obtain GU worms. Thus, during the Fate War, it could only fight using its physical body. That was why it could not resist Feng Juji's Destiny Song, it was handled very quickly, even against other killer moves, it could only resist using its body. But after the Fate War, Wu Shuai made considerations to prepare GU worms for Di Zhang Sheng. At that time, Wu Shuai was quite poor, he did not have excessive immortal GU. Even though the main body had many immortal GU, Fang Yuan was moving around in Western Desert, he did not meet with Wu Shuai initially, also, even though he had immortal GU, they were not suitable for Di Zhang Sheng. But Wu Shuai had great luck, he grasped onto his opportunity and became the leader of the Two Heavens Alliance. With sufficient resources, Wu Shuai started to equip Di Zhang Sheng. By now, Wu Shuai and his main body had taken over the Two Heavens Alliance, by using the excuse of eliminating the Qi Harvest fruit. He destroyed several grotto heavens and made forceful transactions with the GU immortals of the Two Heavens Alliance. Di Zhang Sheng finally gathered enough GU worms to form some basic killer moves. Di Zhang Sheng suppressed Ruan Dan and Shabi 95, forcing them to retreat as it charged forward ferociously. Qin Dingling yelled as she flew up into an immortal GU house. Several immortal GU houses flew towards Di Zhang Sheng, they formed a defensive line. Di Zhang Sheng's advancement was halted, Shabi 95 and Ruan Dan also joined the encirclement. We finally stopped it. Qin Dingling calmed down slightly, but at this moment, she saw Dragon Palace flying around, towards the Qi harvest fruit. Heavenly Court's Qi harvest fruit was too huge and too eye-catching. Wu Shuai was too vicious, he attacked the enemy's weakness. Qin Dingling's expression changed as she quickly moved a portion of the Immortal GU houses to block Dragon Palace. The situation is critical. If the Qi harvest fruit is destroyed, the whole of Heavenly Court will face destruction. Quickly awaken the people sleeping in the Immortal Graveyard. Zhou Shangxin urged. Or we can let 9 Spiritual Fairy and Red Heart Traveler join the fight. Bai Kang Shui suggested. Qin Dingling gritted her teeth, deciding, awaken those in our Immortal Graveyard. More than half of Heavenly Court's Immortal Graveyard was destroyed, there were only a small number of GU Immortals left sleeping in it. But with the awakening of these people, they formed sufficient force to handle the pressure, their defensive line that was precarious became stable now. Go and attack the Qi harvest fruit. Wu Shuai gave an order to the Alliance army. These GU Immortals had dispersed earlier, they were like scattered sand, trying to make their way through the Qi wall and towards the Qi harvest fruit. Seeing this, Qin Dingling felt enraged, she gritted her teeth, she was furious, I will grind the bones of these variant humans into ash, I will kill them all. The Two Heavens Alliance's GU Immortals were not very strong but they had the numbers, and right now, Heavenly Court's weakness was their lack of manpower. Don't worry, there are many variant human GU Immortals but they are all cowards. As long as we send one person to kill several of these invaders, they will lose their morale and not dare to progress further. Prince Feng Xian suggested. Who can take on the task? Qin Dingling quickly asked. Che Wei replied with his actions, he turned into a flash of light and flew out of the Immortal GU house, towards the Qi harvest fruit. Die. He flew like a great eagle, unleashing killer moves that were extremely powerful, his might could not be resisted. Ah, what killer move is this? Out of 2 variant human GU Immortals, one was heavily injured, the other was killed on the spot. At the crucial moment, Che Wei displayed outstanding battle strength, both sides were similarly shocked. After all, he had just defeated 2 variant human GU Immortals with rank 8 cultivation level. That killer move seems to be from a whole new path. Too terrifying. Before we can understand its background, if I charge towards him, I will definitely be split into 2 by his blade. Let's wait for Fang Yuan to attack instead. The GU Immortals of the Two Heavens Alliance were hesitant, they stopped moving forward. These useless trash. In the depth of Dragon Palace, Wu Shuai frowned with anger showing on his face. At the crucial moment, these variant human GU Immortals were completely useless, they were not even qualified to be cannon fodder. But Wu Shuai was prepared for this, he waved his hand, your turn to fight. 4 figures flew out of Dragon Palace, they were the 4 dragon generals, Zhang Yin, Granny Rong, Yang Zihe, and Old Man Bei Feng, who took the place of Xi Miao. These 4 rank 8 GU Immortals were enslaved by Dragon Palace, they had absolute loyalty and did not fear death, they split up into 4 different directions and advanced. Even though Che Wei was strong, he could only block one person. Protect me, Qi Si ancestor transmitted to Qin Dingling. Now is a crucial moment, if we stop here, the consequences will be unthinkable. Qin Dingling almost wanted to grit her teeth till they shattered, the 3 dragon generals were very close to the Qi harvest fruit, she had to take a risk and mobilize Immortal GU houses to block them. At the same time, 2 GU Immortals flew out of the Immortal GU houses to resist the dragon generals. Roar! Right when Heavenly Court managed to block the 4 dragon generals, over on Dragon Palace's end, it exerted force to stop Ruan Dan. Using this chance, Di Zhangsheng rammed Shabi 95 away as it charged forward, managing to reach the Qi harvest fruit. Di Zhangsheng opened its mouth and spat out a torrent of green Qi. The green Qi shattered the Immortal formation and hit the Qi harvest fruit. The Qi harvest fruit shook intensely, Qi Si ancestor's expression changed, he spat out a mouthful of blood, the killer move was halted, he seemed to have suffered great backlash. Oh no, the expressions of Heavenly Court's Immortals changed. We succeeded. The subordinates of Wu Shuai started to cheer, their morale rose. The Qi harvest fruit was damaged, it implicated Heavenly Court. The land of Heavenly Court cracked, earth trenches appeared, earth Qi rumbled, heaven Qi shook, the sky became chaotic as countless clouds and gusts of wind stirred. Crack, crack, the aperture wall of Heavenly Court started to crack, large pieces of the wall fragments fell off and created huge holes that connected to the outside world. Even the Fate War did not deal such great damage to Heavenly Court. The appearance of the Qi harvest fruit created a fatal weakness in Heavenly Court. Die! Che Wei was enraged, His left hand was like a blade, his right hand was like a spear, both hands pushed forward as two golden silver lights pierced Yang Zihe. Yang Zihe died. Wu Shuai laughed loudly, shouting, "Today is the day Heavenly Court faces destruction." Qin Dingling's eyelids twitched. Even though Wu Shuai's side suffered more losses, he was not wrong about it. With their greatest weakness, the Qi harvest fruit, Wu Shuai had the initiative in this battle. Heavenly Court is facing a crisis, what should we do? Even someone like Qin Dingling felt lost at this moment. Amidst her feeling of loss, she also felt fear. Don't tell me Heavenly Court is going to be destroyed in my hands. Right at this moment, Qi Si ancestor transmitted to her, "The situation is quite critical, we need to take a risk." Qin Dingling responded subconsciously, "What risk?" "Earlier, my Qi Path Immortal GU were destroyed, I can no longer use the previous method to eliminate the Qi harvest fruit. But I had created a killer move that is incomplete, it can cause the Qi harvest fruit to shrink temporarily." Qi Si ancestor said. Qin Dingling's eyes shined, she saw hope in this desperate situation, she quickly said, "Ancestor, please use it. As long as we get through this crisis, Heavenly Court will not disappoint you." Heavenly Court's greatest problem was the Qi harvest fruit now. It was too big, like a mountain range, it was the biggest target for killer moves. But if it shrunk, it would be much easier to protect. "We need to be fast, this killer move is not complete, I can only hold on for some time," Qi Si ancestor said as he flew towards the Qi harvest fruit. When he was about to crash into it, he turned into a human-shaped Qi current that fused into the Qi harvest fruit. The Qi harvest fruit shook, as expected, it started to shrink. After a few breaths of time, it went from a mountain range-like size into the size of a horse carriage. This change made the Heavenly Court GU Immortals surprised but also happy. An Immortal GU house flew down and floated above the Qi harvest fruit, it shot out a grand pillar of light that enveloped the entire Qi harvest fruit. Wu Shuai's side rained down a torrent of killer moves but they could not affect the pillar of light at all. Di Zhangsheng and Dragon Palace arrived again. "Stop them," Qin Dingling shouted, but their situation was too passive, they had no choice but to retreat. The Qi harvest fruit shrank again, it went from a horse carriage to the size of a normal gourd. Seeing that they were about to lose again, Qin Dingling quickly asked, "Ancestor, can you move the Qi harvest fruit away?" Qi Si ancestor replied weakly, "This is already my limit. I researched on Demon Immortal Qi Ju's revival method, I can only shrink the fruit but I cannot move it. This method has only been created haphazardly, it is not complete, you need to quickly think of a solution." Qin Dingling was out of ideas already, she originally wanted to send the members of the 10 great ancient sects here to fight. But Central Heaven Gate of Heavenly Court, which could deploy members, was destroyed by Fairy Ziwei during the Fate War. But at the next moment, the primordial Qi wall shattered, countless Qi currents landed on Di Zhangsheng's body. Di Zhangsheng's battle strength fell rapidly, its threat level was lowered. This was the backup method of primordial origin Immortal Venerable, it was used on Fang Yuan during the Fate War. At that time, Fang Yuan could not break away from it, Limitless Demon Venerable had to take action to help him block these Qi currents. But now, the chess game had ended, the two Venerable silhouettes were gone, there was nothing that could help Di Zhangsheng. In an instant, Di Zhangsheng was suppressed by Shabi 95. Heavenly Court's crisis was temporarily alleviated. On Wu Shuai's side, they lost their most important battle strength, Dragon Palace had to step up and use the killer move Dreamy Light Smoke, as Heavenly Court had no way of countering it, Dragon Palace's demonic might surged. "This cannot go on, our Heavenly Court lacks people with peak battle strength after all." Qin Dingling gritted her teeth. If Duke Long was here, how could these enemies act so ferociously? Qi Si ancestor has peak battle strength too but he faced backlash from the failure of the killer move. He is also not a member of Heavenly Court, why would he fight to the death for us? While Qin Dingling was thinking of this, Qi Si ancestor transmitted again. "The biggest key now is to get rid of the Qi harvest fruit. As long as it is removed, we can go on the offensive without worries. There is still hope now, my killer move only lacks the final part for completion. There is a high chance of success." Qin Dingling's heart shook. "What do you need?" Qi Si ancestor replied. "I need Heavenly Court's Heaven Path true meaning, I need to raise my Heaven Path attainment level and conceptualize the complete killer move rapidly to get rid of the Qi harvest fruit. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc. please let us know less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 2028 Heaven Path Research Results. 2028 Heaven Path Research Results. After hearing that Qi ancestor wanted heaven path true meaning, Qin Dingling smiled bitterly. Even though heavenly court has deep foundations, we have never seen nor heard of heaven path true meaning. Oh, why is that so? Qi ancestor asked. Because nobody can cultivate heaven path. If it can be cultivated, why would our heavenly court create heaven overseeing tower to make use of fate Gu? Qin Dingling's words were filled with deep emotions. No Gu immortal could cultivate heaven path, therefore, heaven path true meaning had never existed. It was not easy for a Gu immortal to leave behind true meaning. To leave behind true meaning, wisdom path and rule path had the greatest ease. As for other paths, they had to reach a certain level of mimicking these paths to leave their true meaning behind. For example, long hair ancestors refinement path true meaning or reckless savages transformation path true meaning. After hearing Qin Dingling's reply, Fang Yuan did not feel dejected. He came prepared. His request was actually his probing towards Heavenly Court's foundation. What if they had it after all? Heavenly Court not having heaven path true meaning was not unexpected. Qi ancestor Fang Yuan sighed deeply as he transmitted to Qin Dingling, then there is no hope. I can only come out and fight alongside Heavenly Court to kill these variant humans. Qin Dingling instantly became anxious. The Qi harvest fruit was Heavenly Court's fatal weakness. The reason why they could still maintain a deadlock was because Qi ancestor made the fruit smaller. Once he lets go and it returns to being mountain size, Heavenly Court would be in a difficult spot. The situation would be hard to turn around. Qin Dingling was facing immense pressure now. Some of her pressure came from the enemies, but a portion came from within her. After the Fate War, the Immortal Graveyard was heavily damaged, Heavenly Court's foundation was reduced. Qin Dingling had to take on this responsibility and manage all the affairs of Heavenly Court, which was on the brink of destruction. She worked hard over these days, she had given it her all, she exerted her body and mind for Heavenly Court, trying to restore its former glory. Similar to the other Heavenly Court members, Qin Dingling had an intense feeling of belonging to Heavenly Court. But now, the enemies were attacking suddenly, they even had the fatal weakness of the Qi harvest fruit. Qin Dingling sensed a huge danger. Was Heavenly Court going to be destroyed in this fight? Was it because of her failure to defend it? Would she be the biggest sinner of Heavenly Court's history? Rumble. The intense battle continued. Dragon Palace rampaged unhindered. Qin Dingling took charge of the situation, observing the battlefield, while mobilizing the people and communicating with Qi ancestor. With both internal and external threats, the pressure was pushing her to make a gamble. Qi, do not give up. Even though Heavenly Court does not have heaven path true meaning, we have abundant heaven path research results. I will hand them to you. Qin Dingling passed an information path immortal Gu to Qi ancestor without hesitation. My plan succeeded. Fang Yuan received this information path immortal Gu, he sighed deeply in his heart as he looked into it immediately. Brilliant, wonderful, astounding. Fang Yuan only saw a small portion but his eyes shined with bright light, he praised it continuously in his heart. For the last 3 million years, Heavenly Court rose to become the #1 human force in the world. These years, they initially followed the will of heaven, before trying to resist it later, followed by altering heaven's will and interfering with the heavenly Tao. Their heaven path research results were abundant, they undeniably had the most progress in the world. Fate Gu was a heaven path immortal Gu, it could not be used by anyone. But Heavenly Court forcibly created heaven overseeing tower and unleashed a portion of Fate Gu's might. In the 500 years of his previous life, why did Spectral Soul infiltrate Heavenly Court? A large portion of the reasons were to try obtaining the heaven path research results. As for why Limitless Demon Venerable decided to make a bet with star constellations will and set up a game of chess, wasn't it because he wanted to use Heavenly Court's heaven path research results to help in his plan within Crazed Demon Cave? And now, they ended up in Fang Yuan's hands. Fang Yuan looked into them, his heart shook. He saw 2 killer moves. One was named Heaven Human Sensation, the other was called Human Executing Heaven's Work, they were both created by Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. Heaven Human Sensation allowed a Gu Immortal's will to interact and fuse with Heaven's will. Human Executing Heaven's Work was built on the foundation of Heaven Human Sensation, it allowed a Gu Immortal to replace Heaven's will to a certain degree. Precisely because of these 2 killer moves, Star Constellation's will could interfere and affect Heaven's will, she could even replace Heaven's will to control Fate Gu and allow Heavenly Court to have a decisive rule for 3 million years. The solution lies in this. Fang Yuan acutely sensed that these 2 killer moves were the key to breaking out of his current predicament. He took a risk to come to Heavenly Court now and deceive Qin Dingling, it was to achieve his goals, which were finally reached. Chi-Si, I wonder if these research results can help you complete the killer move. Qin Dingling asked while in intense battle. Fang Yuan coughed. Your heaven path research results are quite helpful to me. But modifying a killer move right now carries risk. I need you to fight and stall for time, get me as much time as possible. Qin Dingling gritted her teeth. Ancestor, you need to be fast, we can only do our best. In the worst case, we have to give up Heavenly Court and save the GU Immortals instead. She had already made plans for the worst-case scenario. Fang Yuan continued to read. Following the two killer moves were the concepts that star constellation Immortal Venerable came up with. Fang Yuan looked at them and gained deep enlightenment. My will represents heaven's will, heaven's will represents my will, so that's it. Fang Yuan remained stationary as he focused on comprehending this information. He allowed his clone, Wu Shuai, to continue leading the Two Heavens Alliance to fight against Heavenly Court. Because of Primordial Origins method, Di Zhangsheng was no longer as strong, Ruan Dan suppressed it. As for Shabi 95, it had already rejoined the defensive line, to become part of the force that resisted Dragon Palace. Under Wu Shuai's control, Dragon Palace charged around the battlefield unhindered. Heavenly Court was greatly troubled by its power. But on the other hand, the GU Immortals of the Two Heavens Alliance were suppressed. They were not as powerful as each Heavenly Court GU Immortal. Compared to the Heavenly Court members, they were lacking in strength. Only two people had equivalent battle strength. They were the two Vice Alliance leaders, Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch and Xiao Hejian. As for Spectral Soul, who was pretending to be Lady Cold Ash, he continued to conceal himself. On the surface, he was desperately fighting and unable to put up strong resistance. This is a prime opportunity. Fairy Ziwei, bring everyone and participate in the battle in Heavenly Court. Spectral Soul gave instructions. Fang Yuan is in Heavenly Court, I will kill him, the members of Heavenly Court, and Chi-Si Ancestor. Fairy Ziwei received the instructions and asked, do we include Longevity Heaven's group? Do we tell them about the situation in Heavenly Court? Fairy Ziwei had only deduced Fang Yuan's location. Bing Sai Chuan knew about it too. But he did not know about Heavenly Court's current situation, he just thought that they were being cautious. In that case, Bing Sai Chuan would need to conceal the information of Fang Yuan's location. Even though he wanted to let them fight each other as well, if Heavenly Court captures or kills Fang Yuan, they would gain all of his inheritances in Immortal GU, wouldn't that be benefiting them? Thus, Bing Sai Chuan's plan was to continue working with Spectral Soul's side and try to attack Heavenly Court together next time. Spectral Soul recalled the attack from Giant Sun during the Fate War and snorted coldly. He did not hesitate. No need to tell them, hide this from them, your group will come alone. Thus, Fairy Ziwei did not say anything. After leaving Bing Sai Chuan's group, her group headed towards Heavenly Court. Heavenly Court was damaged and the aperture wall was cracked, it became connected to the outside world. Fairy Ziwei and the rest could get in very quickly. Fairy Ziwei's group cannot turn the situation around, we need to wait until both sides suffer mutual loss before we can exert the maximum impact. Spectral Soul considered. For him, the best case was for Wu Shuai and Heavenly Court to cripple each other's battle strength. By then, if he took action, he would reap huge gains. But why hasn't that scoundrel Fang Yuan done anything? Spectral Soul observed Dragon Palace while at the same time, an Immortal GU house from Heavenly Court attacked him. Spectral Soul withheld his killing intent, he abandoned a group of soul beasts, retreating continuously. In order to lay low, he decided to wait and endure. But this Immortal GU house came for him and used a killer move, a ray of profound light shot out towards Spectral Soul. Spectral Soul's heart shook as he hesitated. He had the ability to dodge this but Lady Cold Ash did not. There was no choice, he abandoned another group of soul beasts to block the Immortal GU house and stall for time. Die. Che Wei suddenly appeared behind Lady Cold Ash, his body shined in golden light, his aura was sharp as a blade. Do you really think I'm easy to bully? Spectral Soul was deeply enraged but he decided to keep up the act. Boom. Che Wei's attack landed on Lady Cold Ash, she fell towards the ground as she coughed out mouthfuls of blood. Lady Cold Ash's aura weakened continuously until it was completely still. Dead. I killed another one. Che Wei did not sense Spectral Soul, he flew away in the Immortal GU house, towards the other areas of the battlefield. Spectral Soul remained on the ground like a corpse, not moving and pretending to be dead. Boom boom boom. A while after he landed on the ground, a series of immortal killer moves turned into lightning as they shot down, erupting around Spectral Soul's body. Lady Cold Ash was turned into char, half of her flesh was cooked and emitted the fragrance of meat. I'll endure. Spectral Soul gritted his teeth. Bam. With a loud sound, Di Zhangsheng also fell, it landed on top of Spectral Soul. Next, Ruan Dan flew towards Di Zhangsheng and shouted excitedly, "Attack, attack, 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 attack." Bam bam bam. The ground shook intensely, Spectral Soul's bones were almost all crushed, all endure. Di Zhangsheng and Ruan Dan flew away. Soon, an immortal GU house came. It was Dragon Palace. Immortal killer move, dreamy light smoke. Wu Shuai used a dream path killer move and chased after Qin Dingling relentlessly. Qin Dingling dodged the attack rapidly, the dreamy smoke killer move could not turn around in time, it was about to land on Spectral Soul. Spectral Soul, enough is enough. At the next moment, he rose up abruptly, waving his hand, black chi permeated throughout the entire battlefield. Whoosh, the ground shook, mountains rumbled, all of the GU immortals present were blown away by the impact. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2029 What's the situation? 2029 What's the situation? What's the situation? As black chi surged, Xiao Hejian was forced to retreat with shock on his face. He saw the moment when Lady Cold Ash was killed by Che Wei, he felt a little pity for her. To think that soon after, she would actually revive. Was she pretending to be dead earlier, but because of bad luck, the Dream Path killer move almost hit her, so she had to retaliate. But why does Lady Cold Ash have such battle strength? Not only was Xiao Hejian shocked, the other GU immortals had the same doubts. But compared to Heavenly Court, the Two Heavens Alliance was also filled with joy. After all, even though Lady Cold Ash was deeply concealing her strength, she was still one of them. That hit earlier has power similar to Duke Long. Is Lady Cold Ash someone on Duke Long's level? HMPH, I refuse to believe it. A GU immortal on Heavenly Court's side flew out again, it was none other than Che Wei, who was displaying great might in this battle. Che Wei flew towards Lady Cold Ash, all sorts of signs showed that the move earlier was Lady Cold Ash's trump card, it could not be used often. Die. Che Wei's body radiated with golden light as he flew towards Lady Cold Ash like a crashing meteor. At the same time, somewhere underground far from the battlefield, two Heavenly Court members were still trying to forcefully refine hatred GU. Red Heart Traveler controlled the formation while Ching Cho remained unmoving like a statue. 9 Spiritual Fairies' voice came from within the statue. We are almost done, in just a few more minutes, we will thoroughly refine hatred GU. Once she said that, Ching Chao's dim eyes burst open, endless blood-red light shot out of its eyes. What is going on? 9 Spiritual Fairy shouted in shock. What happened? Red Heart Traveler asked while instilling immortal essence, raising the power of the immortal formation. But Ching Chao's body started to shake with greater intensity. It's hatred GU, oh no. 9 Spiritual Fairy suddenly shouted, she flew out of Ching Chao's body like a flash of light. Roar. Ching Cho regained freedom, it roared towards the sky, its voice resounded throughout the area, exploding with thunderous impact. Boom. At the next moment, Ching Cho charged out of the formation, flying towards the surface, leaving behind a damaged formation and 2 immensely shocked Heavenly Court rank 8 GU immortals. Red Heart Traveler, who was controlling the formation, suffered a considerable backlash. He quickly assisted the falling 9 Spiritual Fairy as he asked, Ching Cho has flown to the battlefield, what in the world happened? 9 Spiritual Fairy was still in a daze, she said in uncertainty, maybe I saw wrongly, but at that moment, rank 8 Hatred Immortal GU burst out with terrifying power, it had a trace of a rank 9 Immortal Gu's aura. At this time, the battlefield had already shifted its attention from Dragon Palace and the Chi Harvest Fruit to Lady Cold Ash. Lady Cold Ash's attack was too powerful, it shocked all of the GU immortals. Che Wei arrived before her, Lady Cold Ash only snorted coldly as her body flew up, turning into black light as she charged towards Dragon Palace. At the same time, Lady Cold Ash shouted in a loud voice, Fang Yuan, it is time for us to settle the score. Spectral Soul had a straightforward idea, since Fang Yuan was not showing up, he would force him out. Times were different now. During the Fate War, Spectral Soul was very weak, he could only escape and recuperate using Fairy Ziwei and Old Man Zheng Yuan's strength. But now, he had already gained much of his strength, he was no longer weak. What is going on? The immortals were truly stunned. Lady Cold Ash actually ignored Che Wei, she went straight for Dragon Palace. Internal strife. Che Wei's movement halted for a moment. Wait and see first, this might be their scheme. Qin Dingling wanted to play safe, she got the immortals to gather. Wu Shuai frowned, he moved Dragon Palace to retreat. But Lady Cold Ash was faster. She placed her palm at the top of Dragon Palace. It seemed like a weak action, but it made the entire Dragon Palace fly out like a cannonball. At the same time, the silhouettes of immemorial soul beasts appeared on the surface of Dragon Palace. Roar, roar, roar. Each immemorial soul beast silhouette that flickered would deal a huge attack to Dragon Palace. After more than 10 immemorial soul beasts appeared, there was already a huge hole at the top of Dragon Palace, the pillars broken, tiles cracked. It was a terrifying sight. Che Wei watched with sweat on his forehead. He knew the power of Dragon Palace, but Lady Cold Ash had dealt such damage to it with just one palm strike. So Lady Cold Ash is actually so strong. I was simply courting death earlier by attacking her. Che Wei immediately changed directions as he retreated. Lady Cold Ash, what are you doing? Xiao Hejian shouted. What soul path killer move is this? It has such power. Even though Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch showed an angry expression, he was enveloped in cold sweat. Dragon Palace was still retreating. Can you escape? Lady Cold Ash smiled coldly. She was about to attack again when a huge shadow enshrouded her body. Lady Cold Ash turned back to take a look. She saw Ching Cho, having the size of a mountain. It had gotten close to her at some point, opening its bloodthirsty mouth as it tried to devour her. Seeing this, even Lady Cold Ash's gaze froze for a second. Spectral Soul was aware of Ching Cho's existence. But he did not expect to meet Ching Cho at this place and time. Seeing that Lady Cold Ash was about to die, suddenly, her body turned into black smoke as she drifted away, dodging Ching Cho's attack. Beast, scram, Lady Cold Ash shouted. She stretched out her hand and placed it on Ching Cho's head. The scene from earlier was seen again. Immemorial soul beast silhouettes appeared around Ching Cho as they flickered. Bam bam bam. Each time a silhouette appeared, an explosive sound would follow. Ching Cho was soon covered in injuries, but it did not retreat even in the danger of death. Spectral Soul was just about to chase after Dragon Palace when Ching Cho blocked his path again. Spectral Soul, I will kill you, I will kill you. Ching Cho shouted as it pounced at Lady Cold Ash. Spectral Soul was enraged. I have no time to waste with you. He controlled Lady Cold Ash's body as he prepared a terrifying killer move. Black smoke started to come out of Lady Cold Ash's 7 orifices. Her aura was growing at a terrifying manner. Black smoke gathered and moved towards Ching Cho. Ching Cho's offensive killer move went into the black smoke. After a breath's time, the black smoke scattered. Ching Cho's killer move landed on Lady Cold Ash without becoming weaker at all. Lady Cold Ash's expression turned to shock. She was sent flying after being caught off guard. Rank 9 Immortal GU. No, just an incomplete product. Lady Cold Ash swallowed a mouthful of blood. She squinted her eyes and looked at Ching Cho. Her expression was stern. 9 Spiritual Fairy had just arrived in the battlefield. Her pupils shrunk. I did not sense wrongly. Rank 8 Hatred GU is going to become rank 9. Ching Cho originated from the souls that Spectral Soul slaughtered. The core Immortal GU that created Ching Cho was Hatred GU, but Hatred GU and Ching Cho had an extraordinary connection. Not only did Hatred GU create Ching Cho is also nourishing and nurturing Hatred GU. Maybe Hatred GU was just rank 6, or even 4 or 5 at the start. But as Ching Cho grew, its endless hatred allowed Hatred GU to continuously grow until now. It is already moving from rank 8 to rank 9. Rank 9 Hatred GU. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2030 Spectral Soul, S Demonic Mai. 2030 Spectral Soul, S Demonic Mai. What was this situation? Seeing that Lady Cold Ash got sent flying by Ching Cho, the immortals present were stunned. The rank 9 Immortal GU aura was not fake, but it was too weak. The main part of the aura was still at the level of rank 8 Immortal GU. This was something that was unheard of. An incomplete rank 9 Immortal GU. All the immortals were bewildered. GU refinement had always been a strict process, be they human or hairy man refinement methods, they had their specifications. This was true for both Fang Yuan and Long Hair Ancestor. There had never been a case where a GU worm could still be used in battle during refinement. But the truth was in front of them. The immortals had to admit the fact. What refinement method is this? Many GU immortals became quite excited. This will start a new trend of refinement path. Spectral Soul. Ching Cho possesses Hatred GU, it should not be wrong. To think that Lady Cold Ash's body was actually taken over by Spectral Soul. Seeing what Spectral Soul said, it seems that Fang Yuan is here too, hiding in Dragon Palace. The GU immortals were startled and puzzled. Too many unexpected incidents had happened in this battle. Heavenly Court, the two heavens, Spectral Soul, and Fang Yuan all had their own plans. Nobody knew the entire situation clearly. Even though Fang Yuan was reborn, he was the same. Spectral Soul's identity was exposed. Fang Yuan felt quite relieved about it. Dragon Palace retreated even more quickly. Wu Shuai recalled the 3 dragon generals. At the same time, the GU Immortals of the Two Heavens Alliance guarded Dragon Palace against Spectral Soul. Wu Shuai did not dare to risk letting the Immortals of the Two Heavens Alliance into his Dragon Palace. The appearance of Spectral Soul made everyone else suspicious as well. I can't wait anymore. Qi Si ancestor Fang Yuan gritted his teeth before activating his hidden method. He was originally intending to wait some more, but with Spectral Soul's appearance and Qing Chao's assault, he understood that the situation was out of his control. He needed to act quickly. Fang Yuan immediately contacted Qin Dingling. The modification has some results. Protect me well. We will go into the critical period now. Understood. Joy flashed on Qin Dingling's face. This was the best news she had heard since the battle started. Heavenly Court's GU Immortals shrunk back to form a tight defensive circle. They defended against Spectral Soul in Wu Shuai's Dragon Palace. Roar. Qing Chou charged towards Lady Cold Ash. Hatred Gu's rank 9 aura was getting stronger. It seemed like Spectral Soul's appearance had summoned the deepest hatred in Qing Chao's heart. This intense feeling of hatred was rapidly helping to refine Hatred GU. Hatred GU activated, amplifying Qing Chao's strength comprehensively. Especially offensive killer moves, their might was increased to a terrifying level. Spectral Soul and Qing Chou fought. He actually got suppressed for some time. The killing intent on his face became denser. After a few rounds, he spat out a mouthful of black qi. The black qi was small and insignificant, but once it flew towards Qing Chou, it made Qing Chao's movements slow. Its attacks were no longer rapid. Spectral Soul's body shook, turning into countless phantoms and surrounded Qing Chou tightly. Qing Chou possessed Hatred GU, it should be able to find out the real Spectral Soul. But against the countless Spectral Souls, it showed a confused expression, having lost its target. Spectral Soul's main body suddenly appeared on the back of Qing Chou. He stretched out his palm and his entire forearm was stabbed into Qing Chao's body. Qing Chao's body started to shiver. It felt extreme pain as it raised its head and roared. Qing Chou unleashed immortal killer moves consecutively, ignoring its own state as it assaulted Spectral Soul who was on its back. Spectral Soul endured the endless assault but continued to sustain his current method. Qing Chou fell on the ground. With a loud sound, the earth rumbled. A huge pit was created. Qing Chou rolled on the ground. It was unable to shrug off Spectral Soul. Oh no, he is trying to refine Qing Chou. Qin Dingling saw what was happening. Her heart jumped. She wanted to order the GU Immortals to disrupt Spectral Soul. But Wu Shuai moved one step earlier. Dragon Palace unleashed dreamy light smoke as a cloud of pink smoke flew towards Spectral Soul. Spectral Soul was not afraid of other methods, but Dream Path methods were still threatening. He had no choice but to stop and retreat for now. Qing Chou regained freedom as a result, but it was very weak. It almost fell to the ground. In contrast, Spectral Soul flew to the sky with an increased aura. Evidently, the method used against Qing Chou earlier was not just enslavement, it also had a special ability to extract its strength. Seeing this, almost all the GU Immortals' hearts sank. Qing Chou has a quasi-rank 9 Hatred GU, its battle strength rose drastically, reaching the levels of Fang Yuan, Duke Long, and Feng Juzhe during the Fate War, but it was ineffective against Spectral Soul. Other than catching Spectral Soul off guard initially, once he was prepared, Qing Chou got easily countered afterwards. In the end, Qing Chou was still an immemorial soul beast. It was against Spectral Soul, who was primarily a soul path cultivator and had the deepest knowledge of this. Spectral Soul had a bunch of methods to counter immemorial soul beasts. In fact, the reason for the creation of soul beasts was Spectral Soul himself. What a pity, I was so close to enslaving this legendary desolate beast. HMPH. Fang Yuan, you are courting death. Spectral Soul's plan was foiled. He emanated killing intent with a cold expression, attacking Dragon Palace again. The two sides fought again. Wu Shuai put in all his effort, but he could not resist Spectral Soul's methods. He was forced to retreat. Spectral Soul's demonic might was overwhelming. He dominated the entire battlefield without difficulty. Dragon Palace, which was showing great performance earlier, could not defend against his unparalleled power. His killer moves were endless. They either had great strength or peculiar effects. They were all hard to defend against. Spectral Soul had already recovered. Even though he was not at the level when he refined Sovereign Immortal Fetus GU on Yitian Mountain, he had mostly regained his strength. Wu Shuai controlled Dragon Palace to fight against Spectral Soul. During this time, Ching Chou and the rest also interfered, but they were all suppressed. The situation was getting increasingly dangerous. After more than 10 rounds of fighting, Dragon Palace was heavily damaged. The 3 dragon generals all died at Spectral Soul's hands. Thankfully, there was the killer move Dreamy Light Smoke that Spectral Soul was worried about. The GU Immortals of the Two Heavens Alliance could not be depended on, they all hid at one side. Spectral Soul's might was too terrifying, whoever got close would die. The time is about ripe. Wu Shuai finally received the instructions from his main body. He let out a breath of air, driving Dragon Palace towards the Qi Harvest Fruit. Qin Dingling and the rest had formed into a defensive line. They became alarmed, they shot out endless profound lights. Wu Shuai shouted, "Heavenly Court, if you still refuse to take action, after Spectral Soul kills me, you will all die as well." Qin Dingling retorted, "Stop right now, whoever comes here will face our full-on assault." During the fight between Spectral Soul and Dragon Palace, Heavenly Court had been watching at the side, not doing anything. Qin Dingling and the rest were waiting for Fang Yuan. As long as he stayed motionless, they would not attack. Nobody knew what vile schemes this demon Fang Yuan was preparing after all. Wu Shuai did not care, he steered Dragon Palace to get close to Heavenly Court's defensive line. Behind him, Spectral Soul chased relentlessly. Qin Dingling's expression was grim. She ordered, "Attack Dragon Palace, force it back." Rumble. All sorts of killer moves landed on Dragon Palace, creating beautiful ripples of various colors in the sky. Dragon Palace was like a crumbling boat, riding against the dangerous waves. Large numbers of GU worms died, including Immortal GU. This battle caused severe losses to Dragon Palace. The price to repair it would be extremely high. Oh no, it is getting close. They watched as Dragon Palace almost went past Heavenly Court's defensive line. At the crucial moment, Shabi 95 and Ruan Dan came out to block Dragon Palace despite the danger. But soon, Spectral Soul also arrived. Chaos ensued. Die. Spectral Soul's killing intent surged. He soon gained the upper hand. Heavenly Court's defensive line was collapsing. Right at this moment, Qi Si ancestors' laughter could be heard. Swish swish swish. The originally condensed Qi Harvest Fruit exploded into a tsunami, engulfing heaven and earth. Clouds and winds raged. At once, the entire battlefield was filled with Qi currents over a massive range. At once, all the GU Immortals lost their sense of direction. They could only see white Qi in front of them, they could not even see their own fingers. At the center of the Qi currents, there was a baby-shaped gathering. It devoured the white Qi. In a few breaths of time, the baby grew rapidly, turning old as it became Qi Si ancestors' appearance, having rank 8 cultivation level. Fang Yuan's main body flickered, he waved his sleeves, a split soul that was prepared in advance flew out, carrying GU worms and immortal essence into Qi Si ancestors' body. After the split soul arrived, the Qi Si clone opened his eyes. While Fang Yuan's main body used the opportunity to enter Dragon Palace. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2031 Chasing, Escaping. 2031 Chasing, Escaping. Fang Yuan had always taken action after planning. Even though this venture to Heavenly Court was dangerous, he had made ample preparations. He refined Heavenly Court's Qi Harvest Fruit into his Qi Path clone, while the main body went into Dragon Palace at this very moment. Even though there were many GU Immortals in the battlefield, nobody found out the truth. Fang Yuan's Qi Path clone breathed in deeply, all of the white Qi got absorbed into his body. Next, he pushed with both arms as a thunderous sound occurred, a dense Qi wall formed and pushed towards Dragon Palace and Spectral Soul with overwhelming might. Spectral Soul's eyes shined with bright light, black Qi burst out of his body and crashed into the Qi wall, emitting a loud sound. The Qi wall was corroded but the surrounding Qi wall came to fill it up again. Spectral Soul made use of this timing to turn into black light and penetrate through it like a flash of lightning. A portion of Spectral Soul's focus was kept on Qi Si ancestor, while most of his attention remained on Dragon Palace. Dragon Palace was huge, it would not be easy to pass the Qi wall. Once Dragon Palace exposed a weakness while resisting the Qi wall, Spectral Soul would take action and make use of Qi Si ancestor's killer move to deal a huge blow to Dragon Palace. Right when the Qi wall was about to crash into Dragon Palace, its door opened. Fang Yuan stood upright, appearing in front of everyone. Immortal killer move, unlimited Qi Si. Fang Yuan was already well prepared. He raised his right arm now as he grabbed towards the Qi wall with his 5 fingers. The colossal Qi wall shook as it collapsed. Countless Qi currents were drawn by a formless force, going into Fang Yuan's immortal aperture. Fang Yuan, he was here after all. This move again. During the Fate War, he used this move to unravel primordial Qi wall. The immortals saw Fang Yuan's appearance as all of them shook. Heavenly Court's GU immortals were all ashen. After they lost the Fate War, Fang Yuan had turned into a nightmare that shrouded over their minds. The two Heavens Alliance's GU immortals were joyful instead. Seeing Fang Yuan's action, it was clear that he was on their side. Spectral Soul's pupils shrunk. Fang Yuan's performance was quite shocking. He was troubled by the Heaven Path Dao marks after all. How could he still display such immense battle strength? The entire battlefield fell into peculiar silence. Fang Yuan and Qi Si Ancestor appeared at the same time. The entire battlefield's situation was turned around in an instant. Heavenly Court protected Qi Si Ancestor. Spectral Soul was alone, while Fang Yuan was standing in front of Dragon Palace. The three strongest GU immortals prepared to face off against each other. In the GU world, strength reigns supreme. The following battle would depend on these three people. To think that this day would come when Heavenly Court fails to be the leader of this confrontation. Qin Dingling sighed in her heart as she transmitted to Qi Si Ancestor, asking about his condition. Qi Si Ancestor immediately replied, "Even though I got rid of the Qi harvest fruit, I suffered considerable injuries. I will need everyone from Heavenly Court to work together to survive this crisis." Qin Dingling said again, "Heavenly Court's greatest threat was resolved thanks to you, Ancestor. After we survive this, Heavenly Court will definitely reward you satisfactorily." Qin Dingling was trying very hard to gain Qi Si Ancestor's help. At this moment, Dragon Palace flew out like an orange meteor towards the sky. After this catastrophic battle, Heavenly Court was completely covered in holes. Dragon Palace escaped along one of these loopholes, easily leaving Heavenly Court and entering immemorial White Heaven. The remaining immortals looked at Dragon Palace's figure with stunned expressions. Even though Fang Yuan appeared and cooperated with Wu Shuai, the two of them had actually escaped. Was this the showing of the number one demon? It seems that Fang Yuan has not recovered. Even though that move was ferocious and broke Qi Si Ancestor's Qi Wall killer move earlier, he was likely at his limit. Do we chase them? This demon Fang Yuan is too crafty. I am afraid that this is just his plan to lure us out. He might have an immortal formation outside lying in ambush, waiting for us to head into his trap. The Heavenly Court GU Immortals hesitated while the two Heavens Alliance GU Immortals cursed in their hearts. The expert and leader that they placed their hopes and morale on had actually escaped. They fled so quickly. All of these two Heavens Alliance GU Immortals were left in Heavenly Court. They were abandoned. Fang Yuan, where are you running to? Die here and now. Spectral Soul snickered as he used Lady Cold Ash's body to rush out of Heavenly Court, chasing after Dragon Palace. Roar. Ching Cho roared. It was gradually recovering the strength that it lost. Even though the rank 9 aura of its hatred GU was not complete, it was already much denser than before. Spectral Soul, I want you to die. Ching Cho, who had unresolvable hatred, did not hesitate. It chased after Spectral Soul. Thus, in the battlefield, only Heavenly Court's Immortals, Qi Si Ancestor, and the two Heavens Alliance's GU Immortals were left. Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch and Xiao Hejian looked at each other. They were in an awkward situation now. We will chase them. Protect Dragon Palace. Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch and Xiao Hejian worked together for the first time. They shouted something that they did not believe in as they charged out of Heavenly Court. The remaining two Heavens Alliance GU Immortals followed after them, shouting and jeering as they also went out of Heavenly Court along with the two Vice Alliance leaders. Are we going to kill these variant human GU Immortals? Prince Feng Xian asked Qin Dingling. Qin Dingling looked towards Qi Si Ancestor. She thought about it before saying resolutely, no. These variant human GU Immortals are just minor problems. The most important thing is Fang Yuan. Two people will stay behind to take care of the place. The rest will follow me to pursue and kill Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was not in good condition now. It was the best time to kill him. If they managed to kill Fang Yuan, the loot they could gain would be extremely favorable to Heavenly Court. Fang Yuan had too many good things. He had countless immortal GU and exceptional inheritances. Even without them, as long as they could capture his soul and extract the memories of his previous life, it would be incredibly precious to Heavenly Court. In fact, even if Heavenly Court gets nothing from killing Fang Yuan, just the fact that he died at their hands would allow Heavenly Court to regain their morale. They would break free of the trauma of the Fate War. They would be at the top of the world again. Even if we cannot kill Fang Yuan, we cannot let Spectral Soul kill Fang Yuan. Furthermore, Qin Dingling was also wary of that old monster Spectral Soul. Ancestor, Qin Dingling was about to speak when Qi Si Ancestor interrupted her. No need to say anything, be it Spectral Soul or Fang Yuan, they are both demons, as Righteous Path members should execute them all. Time is pressing, our opportunity is slipping, we need to chase them now. At the crucial moment, Chi-Si Ancestor displayed the demeanor of a heroic leader of the Righteous Path. The Heavenly Court Immortals felt much closer to him after hearing that. Qin Dingling nodded gravely, without Chi-Si Ancestor's help, they would not be able to chase Fang Yuan safely. The main body's situation is strange, I need to look after him. These Heavenly Court GU Immortals are much better cannon fodder than those two Heavens Alliance Immortals. Chi-Si Ancestor made his plan internally, leading the Heavenly Court Immortals as they chased. This way, Dragon Palace was at the front, followed by Spectral Soul, who was getting closer. Followed by Ching Cho, followed by Chi-Si Ancestor and the Heavenly Court Immortals. As for the two Vice Alliance leaders of the two Heavens Alliance, they had already escaped from Heavenly Court with the other Immortals, they scattered all over the place thinking only of escaping, nobody dared to join this battle anymore. At this moment, Dragon Palace was still tightly shut. Fang Yuan sat on the ground, modifying the two killer moves, Heaven Human Sensation and Human Executing Heaven's Work. Fang Yuan lacked more than half of the GU worms needed for these killer moves. He had to modify the moves and swap out the GU worms so that he could use these moves. Immortal GU were unique, these two killer moves were newly obtained, Fang Yuan had quite a bit of difficulty in the modification. After attempting it for some time, Fang Yuan changed his tactic, he gave up on the Immortal GU level and targeted the aspect of a mortal killer move. Fang Yuan connected to Treasure Yellow Heaven and soon gathered the relevant mortal GU worms. With the necessary GU worms and after modifying the move from an Immortal Killer move to a Mortal Killer move, the difficult became nearly non-existent. With these two Mortal Killer moves, Fang Yuan stopped the formation in the Sovereign Immortal Aperture, no longer using Chi Tides to cleanse the Immortal Aperture's 9 heavens and 5 regions. Soon, Heaven's Will was produced. Fang Yuan sent a portion of his will towards the Heaven's Will. Next, he activated the killer move Heaven Human Sensation, Fang Yuan fused into the Heaven's Will. After that, he activated Human Executing Heaven's Work. After a while, Fang Yuan's eyes shined with bright light, I sensed a certain group of Heaven Path Dao marks. If he had to replace the word, sensed, Fang Yuan would choose another word, caught. Originally, Fang Yuan knew about the Heaven Path Dao marks in his body, but he could only let them be. But now, when he could sense them, it meant that these Heaven Path Dao marks were under his control temporarily. With this crucial breakthrough and Fang Yuan's expertise in GU refinement, it was only a matter of time until he refined all of these Heaven Path Dao marks into his own. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2032 Target, Crazed Demon Cave. 2032 Target, Crazed Demon Cave. Rumble. With a loud sound, Dragon Palace shook intensely from the impact, a large portion of its roof cracked and fell. While falling, these fragments turned into GU worm corpses, scattered by the intense winds in the sky. Spectral Soul had caught up. He was extremely fast, even though Wu Shuai was moving Dragon Palace at top speed, he could not reach Spectral Soul's speed. Spectral Soul's body was covered in pitch-black smoke, each time he attacked, Dragon Palace suffered great damage. Wu Shuai had to put in his effort to repair it, thankfully, he had many GU worms in his storage, he was amply prepared. Fang Yuan frowned tightly, his expression was slightly grim. He came to Heavenly Court using Chi-Si Ancestor's identity to find a way to resolve his Heaven Path Dao mark problem. Once his goal was achieved, he chose to retreat. Fang Yuan had never cared about the title of the #1 demon. However, even though Fang Yuan got what he wanted, he needed time now, what he lacked was sufficient time to execute his plan. Now, Spectral Soul is chasing after me, Heavenly Court will do the same, these people will not let me retreat easily. It is very difficult to escape from this situation. Fang Yuan's movement ability had always been improving. Long ago, his strongest movement method was the killer move Sword Escape after transforming into an ancient sword dragon. After that was omnidirectional travel, followed by fixed immortal travel and the killer move comprising fixed immortal travel as the core. But among these methods, even omnidirectional travel could not match Spectral Soul's speed. Fixed immortal travel's killer move might be usable, but Fang Yuan was very weak now from the disturbance of the Heaven Path Dao marks. There was still some time until Fang Yuan could resolve this disturbance and fully refine the Heaven Path Dao marks. Fang Yuan tried to think about it from another perspective, be they Spectral Soul or Heavenly Court, they wanted him dead. The former used all of his accumulations to refine sovereign immortal fetus Gu, but Fang Yuan snatched it away. The latter's headquarters were ravaged by Fang Yuan, their biggest pillar of support, Fate Gu, was also destroyed by him. Heavenly Court was the leader of the righteous path, they cared about reputation, but in the Fate War, Fang Yuan destroyed their reputation. Before now, Heavenly Court could not find Fang Yuan, so they did not do anything to him. In the future, when he recovered his strength, they would also be unable to deal with him. Now that Heavenly Court found Fang Yuan, they would definitely try their best to kill him. Such opportunities seldom knock twice, they could not let this chance slip by. Fang Yuan knew about his circumstances clearly, thoughts collided in his mind continuously as he tried to find a solution for this problem. But soon, his expression changed. The heaven path Tao marks on his body started to transform again, causing problems. Their disturbance became stronger by several times. When dealing with the Qi wall earlier, even though Fang Yuan caused a huge scene, he was actually cooperating with Qi Si ancestor secretly. His true battle strength was not as it appeared. But just this much, with Fang Yuan secretly using human path methods to counter the interruption of the heaven path Tao marks, was already the greatest limit. Externally, Spectral Soul was attacking Dragon Palace furiously, the walls were cracking, tiles were sent flying all over the place. Internally, the heaven path Tao marks were wreaking havoc in his body, preventing Fang Yuan from doing anything. The situation was dangerous, even surpassing the Fate War. After all, Fang Yuan could still use Spring-Autumn Cicada then, but now, this greatest trump card was unusable. Fang Yuan could not rebirth. If he made a mistake now, he would die a pitiful death. Spectral Soul emanated deep killing intent, it pierced through Dragon Palace. Fang Yuan's hair stood on ends. Fang Yuan's lips curled up, he had already made a decision. Head to Crazed Demon Cave. The heaven path Tao marks were interfering with Fang Yuan, preventing him from using many killer moves. Even if he could use them, the effect would be very low. Fang Yuan had to borrow external help to alleviate this crisis. Any other location would not be very helpful to Fang Yuan. After all, Dragon Palace was the one escaping and moving at the front. If he entered a dangerous place, Dragon Palace would face the brunt of the danger. The pursuer would benefit instead, Spectral Soul would have an easier time. But Crazed Demon Cave was different. At the lower levels of Crazed Demon Cave, Fang Yuan could use the sovereign immortal body to travel to the next layer quickly, the rest would all be stopped in their tracks. As for whether Spectral Soul could pass through, Fang Yuan did not know, but it was worth a gamble. Spectral Soul was not in perfect condition after all, he also did not have the sovereign immortal body. Even if Spectral Soul can forcefully make his way through, his battle strength would suffer. The lower layers are also extremely huge and mysterious, I can definitely stall for time against Spectral Soul in there. Fang Yuan made up his mind, he immediately moved Dragon Palace in another direction, towards the north. As for Wu Shuai, he focused on repairing Dragon Palace. Spectral Soul saw that Dragon Palace was escaping, he breathed in deeply before rapidly approaching it. He extended his hand and landed on Dragon Palace. Next, countless immemorial soul beast silhouettes flickered, each time they attacked, a piece of Dragon Palace's walls shattered. After an entire round of attacks, several pillars holding up Dragon Palace had cracks emerging. Wu Shuai had a solemn expression. Oh no, this killer move is extremely powerful, it can attack the immortal Gu house both internally and externally. The core immortal Gu of Dragon Palace are quite damaged. Fang Yuan's main body squinted his eyes. Dragon Palace's door was shut but his vision was unobstructed, he could see the situation outside. Fang Yuan said calmly, Spectral Soul used this soul path killer move earlier, but it is much stronger now. Evidently, he has modified it during this bit of time. This was truly terrifying. Spectral Soul had great strength, even though he was no longer rank 9, he was definitely at Duke Long's level of battle strength. Even though he lost most of his attainment levels, it seemed that Soul Path did not fall by too much. Even though Spectral Soul had only fought Dragon Palace for a short while, he had already comprehended the weaknesses of Dragon Palace, he could modify his killer moves to show much greater effect. Furthermore, Spectral Soul had abundant battle experience, far deeper than Fang Yuan. During his era, he was renowned for killing everything in his way in the entire world. After several more rounds, Dragon Palace could not resist Spectral Soul anymore. Fang Yuan sighed as he sent out another immortal Gu house. It was a silver-white ship with a long and thin body, it flew like a flying sword with silver light shining around it, stabbing towards Spectral Soul. It was Myriad Year Flying Warship. Spectral Soul moved in a flicker and dodged it easily. Myriad-Year Flying Warship turned around and used a killer move, targeting Spectral Soul. At once, Dragon Palace tried to escape while Myriad-Year Flying Warship helped to defend it. Spectral Soul chased after them with immense demonic might, the winds and clouds were raging around him. Fang Yuan's main body was disrupted by the Heaven Path Dao marks, but because Immortal GU houses were individual structures, they were not restricted by this problem. As long as the Immortal GU house had Fang Yuan's will and immortal essence, Myriad-Year Flying Warship could still continue to fight. However, Spectral Soul had formidable strength and all sorts of killer moves. Not only were they strong and hard to defend against, they mostly had peculiar effects and easily overwhelmed Fang Yuan's efforts, allowing Spectral Soul to firmly control this situation. Even with the power of 2 rank 8 Immortal GU houses, he was not Spectral Soul's match. Most importantly, the 12 Zodiac battle formation was completely destroyed during the Fate War. Otherwise, with the combination of 12 Zodiac battle formation and Myriad-Year Flying Warship, even Spectral Soul would have some problems against them. Fang Yuan considered the situation and did not change his plan, he still focused on escaping. After getting the Heaven Path research results, Fang Yuan just needed time to gather his advantage. As long as he survives this problem, after he resolved the problem of the Heaven Path Dao marks, it would be Fang Yuan's turn to shine. Spectral Soul was going all out on offense. In his opinion, this was the best opportunity to kill Fang Yuan and reclaim the sovereign immortal body. Not just the sovereign immortal body, he could also get the dream realms that Fang Yuan obtained. Spectral Soul would be able to regain all of his attainment levels as a result. In this world, what could allow Spectral Soul to rapidly regain his strength? Undoubtedly, it was Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was simply a moving treasure chest in Spectral Soul's eyes. Spectral Soul, die, I want you to die. Ching Cho approached him with wind and lightning surrounding it. Myriad-Year Flying Warship and Dragon Palace fought against Spectral Soul while moving, they could not travel quickly. Thus, Ching Cho caught up to them. Ching Chao's eyes were blood red, its face was distorted in a terrifying manner, it only cared about Spectral Soul. In just this period of time, the rank 9 aura of the hatred GU within it got denser again, it was quite shocking to see. Ching Cho got stronger again. It growled, a human-faced lightning ball flew out of its throat. The lightning ball was extremely fast, green-black in color, it was eerie and icy, moving without a sound. Spectral Soul waved his hand, a giant whip made of black fog appeared, seeking to send the lightning ball flying. But the face on the lightning ball snickered as it raised its speed, avoiding the whip as it approached Spectral Soul. Spectral Soul was about to use another killer move when the lightning ball self-detonated. Rumble. The might of the explosion was terrifying, Spectral Soul was sent flying far away. The range of the explosion was wide, even Dragon Palace and Myriad-Year Flying Warship were not spared, they both suffered some damage. Ching Cho endured the aftermath of the explosion as it approached Spectral Soul relentlessly. This senseless beast, after being disrupted for multiple times, Spectral Soul felt deeply enraged. Fang Yuan used the chance to flee. Spectral Soul saw Dragon Palace's movement and became even more angry. Little scoundrel, don't think of escaping. Dragon Palace's speed fell instantly. At the areas where Dragon Palace was damaged, black smoke appeared and lowered its speed severely. What killer move is this? When did Spectral Soul use it? Fang Yuan was shocked. At once, he had an idea of moving into Myriad-Year Flying Warship instead. But regrettably, black smoke also appeared on Myriad-Year Flying Warship, it moved slowly too. The black smoke faded away very quickly, but Spectral Soul also regained his momentum. After forcing Ching Cho away, he approached Dragon Palace again. At once, the three parties engaged in a chaotic battle. Fang Yuan wanted to shrug off Spectral Soul, but Ching Cho was overwhelmed with rage, it did not have any intention to cooperate with him. Ching Cho only wanted to take revenge on Spectral Soul, it did not care about Fang Yuan, almost all of its moves also implicated Dragon Palace. At times, to protect himself, Fang Yuan had to fight Ching Cho as well. After some time, Spectral Soul regained the upper hand again. Even though he was just the soul of Spectral Soul Demon Venerable, his battle strength was extremely high. He also fought differently from Duke Long's dominance, he was more skilled at using ruthless attacks with piercing killing intent, he was vicious and maniacal. But he had a terrifyingly clear understanding of the situation, he often made use of his opponent's methods to make them cancel out each other's moves. Spectral Soul slowly attacked less and less, but in this chaotic fight, his advantage was rising bit by bit. After noticing this, even Fang Yuan's heart was turning cold. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., Please let us know less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2033 Chaotic Battle. 2033 Chaotic Battle. In terms of battle experience, I cannot compare to Spectral Soul. During the three-way chaotic battle, Fang Yuan sensed the difference between him and his enemy. Even though he had been reborn many times, in terms of total battle experience, Fang Yuan could not compare to a Venerable. The main problem is that Qing Chou is not being logical. Even though it attacks ferociously, it ignores its own condition. Spectral Soul made use of it many times. If this were a conscious Qing Chou, the battle would not be like this. Fang Yuan felt the situation was unfortunate in his heart. Even though hatred Gu was progressing towards rank 9 and Qing Chou was getting stronger, without any wisdom, no matter how strong it was still toyed around by Spectral Soul. Even after using Dragon Palace and Myriad Year Flying Warship, Fang Yuan still felt helpless. This was something that had never happened before. Fang Yuan was still focusing on retreating. He fought while escaping. Even though he was the weaker side now, as long as Spectral Soul could not activate a battlefield killer move to trap him, Fang Yuan was still free to escape. Dragon Palace was the first to break through the Heavenly Wind Qi Wall, heading towards Central Continent. Myriad Year Flying Warship did its best to protect it. Spectral Soul moved behind like a trail of black smoke, following after them closely. Behind them were Qing Chou's colossal body, crashing through the Qi Wall and leaving immemorial white heaven, reaching Central Continent. Qi Si Ancestor, Qin Ding Ling, and the rest had all left Heavenly Court. They were chasing behind. When they found that Fang Yuan and the rest had entered Central Continent, Heavenly Court's immortals became anxious. This scoundrel Fang Yuan could have traveled through the vast immemorial white heaven, but he chose to go to Central Continent. Since he is in trouble, he wants to implicate the innocent people as well. He truly deserves a pitiful death. Qi Si Ancestor snorted coldly. Fang Yuan has been a problem for too long. If we can kill him this time, it would be the fortune of the people in the world. As he said that, he used a secret method to tell the main body about their movement. Fang Yuan immediately understood that Heavenly Court's pursuers were arriving soon. But he had no solution. His speed was greatly dragged down by Spectral Soul. When Heavenly Court's group arrived, they found that Spectral Soul was suppressing Fang Yuan and Qing Chou. Qin Ding Ling frowned as she hesitated, telling Qi Si Ancestor, "Ancestor, please deal with Fang Yuan, kill him with your full strength." But how could Qi Si Ancestor attack the main body? He pondered and said, "In this situation, Fang Yuan is weak while Spectral Soul is strong. They are both demonic path overlords. If we deal with Fang Yuan and get hit by his final trump cards, Spectral Soul will be the eventual winner." Qin Ding Ling shook her head. "Ancestor, you are not familiar with Fang Yuan. He is too crafty. He definitely has methods left unused. Maybe this situation is only a layer of his concealment. We need to kill him now. We cannot give him any opportunities." Qi Si Ancestor. Heavenly Court had suffered too much at Fang Yuan's hands. Qin Ding Ling's wariness and fear towards Fang Yuan surpassed even Spectral Soul. But thinking about it, when Spectral Soul Demon Venerable was invincible in the world, he did not deal so much damage to Heavenly Court compared to the current Fang Yuan. It was quite easy to understand how Qin Ding Ling and the others felt like this. Qi Si Ancestor could only ask the main body secretly, what were they going to do? If there was no choice, Qi Si Ancestor would have to expose himself and fight Spectral Soul so that the main body could escape. Fang Yuan replied, "Don't worry, let me try something first." Dragon Palace's door opened. A pure dream reality seeker physique body flew out. Pure dream reality seeker physique flew towards Spectral Soul. The latter's pupils shrank as he retreated immediately. Bam! The pure dream reality seeker physique body self-detonated, turning into a large lump of dream realm that floated in the sky, turning into a barrier. Dragon Palace and Myriad Year Flying Warship used this chance to pull some distance away from them. Spectral Soul got around the dream realm as he chased again. But Qing Chou could not think properly. It got trapped in the dream realm. Roar! The aura of hatred Gu burst out of Qing Chou's body as it broke free from the dream realm. It chased after them again. This is... Qing Chou actually broke away from the dream realm. It was not trapped. It's hatred Gu. U003CU003C. The Legends of Ren Zhu 003 EU003E has a vague description about it. Hatred has no dreams. Fang Yuan was also quite shocked about this. Qing Chou did not have any dream path methods, but it used hatred Gu to break free. Dream path was ahead of the current era. It was unstoppable, but it could not stop Qing Chou's hatred Gu. Hatred has no dreams, or rather, against rank 9 hatred Gu, the dream realm was not big enough. Fang Yuan had a thought. It was like the killer move Dreamy Light Smoke. If it landed on Spectral Soul, it would only trap him for some time before he got free. Dragon Palace would shatter from the internal impact. Dreamy Light Smoke was too weak against Spectral Soul, but if it rose to rank 9 level, the situation would be different. Even so, when Spectral Soul was attacked with Dreamy Light Smoke, he would still dodge it without hesitation. He was very fast, moving like a specter. In close distance, it was almost the same as teleportation. It was too hard for Dreamy Light Smoke to hit him. However, the good thing for Fang Yuan was that Spectral Soul could not deal with Dream Realms currently. I obtained the Pure Dream Reality Seeker Physique method from Shadow Sect. Spectral Soul definitely knows about it. However, he lacks the crucial Immortal GU. He cannot use relevant killer moves. After sensing this, Fang Yuan immediately created many Pure Dream Reality Seeker Physique bodies and self-detonated them. Bang 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 bang. In the blink of an eye, Dragon Palace and Myriad Year Flying Warship were surrounded by Dream Realms. There was no gap between them. Spectral Soul snorted coldly, stopping his attacks. This Fang Yuan. Qin Dingling gritted her teeth. Fang Yuan's method was too shameless. Heavenly Court had no way to deal with it. Be careful of Spectral Soul. Qi Si Ancestor reminded them. Fang Yuan suddenly enclosed himself. Heavenly Court's members were in an awkward spot. Spectral Soul looked at them coldly. Qi Si Ancestor stood in front of them steadfastly. Ching Cho growled angrily. It attacked Spectral Soul again without fear. Spectral Soul said in displeasure, "Lowly beast. Since you want to die, I will grant you your wish." His body vanished on the spot. At the next moment, he appeared on Ching Cho's back. But right when Spectral Soul was about to attack Ching Cho, a Chi Path killer move shot towards him. Spectral Soul had no choice but to resist it. Ching Cho used the chance to move away. It spat out a human-faced lightning ball again, escaping danger. Spectral Soul looked at Qi Si Ancestor with a cold gaze. Earlier, Qi Si Ancestor was the one who attacked him. Qi Si Ancestor looked at Spectral Soul warily. At the same time, he explained to Qin Dingling, "We cannot let Spectral Soul succeed. He seems to be able to absorb the power of the immemorial Soul Beast. Is it possible for Heavenly Court to capture Ching Cho again?" Qin Dingling sighed. "We have already lost the best opportunity. Ching Cho's strength rose greatly. We need to find another opportunity in order to forcefully refine hatred GU." Heavenly Court's GU Immortals did not blame Qi Si Ancestor for making a move on his own. After all, what he did was very logical. From the Heavenly Court GU Immortals' perspective, Fang Yuan was trapped in the Dream Realm now. Qi Si Ancestor was helping Ching Cho to attack Spectral Soul for the sake of Heavenly Court. At the next moment, Spectral Soul attacked the Heavenly Court Immortals. Ching Cho followed closely behind him. The three-sided chaotic battle started again, but this time, Heavenly Court took the role of Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was temporarily safe. He only had to take note of the moving Dream Realms. To form a tight defense, he needed to self-detonate Pure Dream Reality Seeker Physique bodies to fix any gaps in his defensive line. Immortal Killer Move, Yin-Yang Great Killer Hands. Rumble. With a loud explosion, two huge hands, one black and one white, appeared out of nowhere. The two hands were so large they could loom over heaven and earth. They had an intrinsic pattern. At this moment, they grabbed at Spectral Soul. Spectral Soul suddenly shouted shrilly. When he appeared again, he was already right in front of Qi Si Ancestor. At the center of the yin-yang hands where Spectral Soul was originally at, there was an immemorial Soul Beast. Spectral Soul shot out a wave of black smoke that landed on Qi Si Ancestor. Immortal Killer Move, Heavenly Combat Cloak. Qi Si Ancestor retreated. Heavenly Combat Cloak melted from the effect of the black smoke, but this strange move was blocked after all. Even though Qi Si Ancestor was a newly created clone of Fang Yuan's, he had incredible strength from originally being Heavenly Court's Qi Harvest Fruit. With sufficient Qi Path Immortal GU, his battle strength was not any lower than before. Even so, Qi Si Ancestor was suppressed by Spectral Soul. The situation was getting increasingly passive. Qin Dingling led the Heavenly Court Immortals to help Qi Si Ancestor. She also ordered Spirit Affinity House to send Feng Jinhuang over to the fight. Feng Jinhuang had Dream Path Immortal GU. She could use Pure Dream Reality Seeker transformation to break Fang Yuan's defensive line. Qin Dingling's target had always been Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan's main body hid inside Dragon Palace as he watched the battle, using all of his time to refine as many Heaven Path Dao marks as possible. "Master, we have arrived." During the chaotic battle, Fairy Ziwei and Old Man Zheng Yuan led their group as they entered the battlefield. Before Heavenly Court's GU Immortals could react to it, far away, someone flew over as well. "Let this old man join in the fun as well. It was Demon Immortal Chi-Ju. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2034 Everyone wants to kill Fang Yuan. 2034 Everyone wants to kill Fang Yuan. In this three-sided chaotic battle, the appearance of Fairy Z-Wei's group and Demon Immortal Chi-Ju made the situation increasingly complex. Go and block Heavenly Court. Spectral Soul ordered. Fairy Z-Wei and Old Man Zheng Yuan quickly attacked with killer moves. The shining wave of attacks assaulted Qin Dingling and the rest with ferocity. Other than Qi-Si Ancestor, Qin Dingling and the rest were all inside their immortal GU houses. They were not afraid of Spectral Soul's reinforcements. Heavenly Court's immortals were only furious. They were not angry about Fairy Z-Wei and Old Man Zheng Yuan's betrayal but the fact that he used a vicious method to enslave them. Heavenly Court believed in Fairy Z-Wei's and Old Man Zheng Yuan's loyalty. They knew that it was because of Spectral Soul that they betrayed Heavenly Court. Spectral Soul snickered. How does it feel to fight against your former allies? It will be up to you to save them. If you miss this opportunity, you will likely never have another chance in the future. Heavenly Court's immortals heard this. Their attacks halted for a moment. Qin Dingling had sharp brows. She frowned as she ordered. Spectral Soul wants to make us unwilling to attack. He is stalling for time. Forget about Z-Wei's and Zheng Yuan's lives. Killing them is the same as releasing them from this predicament. At the crucial moment, Qin Dingling displayed the foresight of a leader. She showed her resolute nature. Spectral Soul heard this. He frowned lightly. He started to act more quickly, attacking Qing Chou again. Fighting against him, Qing Chou soon got suppressed. Stop him. Seeing that Spectral Soul was trying the same thing again to extract Qing Chou's strength, Qin Dingling shouted, "Ancestor, please stop him." Even without her reminder, Qi-Si Ancestor had already flown towards Spectral Soul. But at the next moment, a gush of Qi currents flew out like a heavenly river, obstructing Qi-Si Ancestor. Qi-Si Ancestor stopped his movement. He looked at the attacker, Chi-Ju. Demon Immortal Chi-Ju smiled lightly, blocking his path. Qi-Si, our previous battle was interrupted by Heavenly Court. That was not satisfying. Let us fight fairly this time. The hearts of Heavenly Court's immortals sank. At the crucial moment, Demon Immortal Chi-Ju actually came to help Spectral Soul. What sort of agreement did they make? Fairy Z-Wei was surprised too. Demon Immortal Chi-Ju was definitely an unexpectedly strong reinforcement. Purple light flickered in her eyes as she realized. Long ago, Demon Immortal Chi-Ju had already started buying all sorts of inheritances in Treasure Yellow Heaven of various paths. He is from the olden antiquity era. He revived after the destruction of Fate GU. Using these inheritances, he can catch up to the current Great Era. The reason why Chi-Ju is helping us is likely because Master made a deal with him. He sold a large number of inheritances. Fairy Z-Wei made an accurate guess. Even though Demon Immortal Chi-Ju did not expose his identity in Treasure Yellow Heaven, he did not conceal himself either. His intentions were clearly known to everyone. Since Heavenly Court could notice Demon Immortal Chi-Ju's actions, why wouldn't Spectral Soul? Because of historical reasons, Demon Immortal Chi-Ju would not cooperate with Heavenly Court. But Spectral Soul was also in the demonic path. He had a vast number of inheritances. He was the most ideal person to transact with Chi-Ju. Fang Yuan, you cannot escape today. Spectral Soul smiled coldly. He arrived at Qing Chou's back again. At the next moment, he attacked. Qing Chou growled angrily but its strength was being absorbed by Spectral Soul. As an immemorial soul beast, even with the quasi-rank 9 hatred GU, Qing Chou was completely countered by Spectral Soul. Qing Chou's aura fell greatly while Spectral Soul became more energized and lively. After he finished his absorption, he kicked. Qing Chou fell towards the ground. Next, he charged towards Fang Yuan at lightning speed. Immortal killer move, Pure Dream Reality Seeker transformation. The dream realms surrounding Dragon Palace had a huge chunk missing. They turned into Pure Dream Reality Seeker physique bodies as they flew into Spectral Soul's immortal aperture. Spectral Soul actually had enough immortal GU to unleash the killer move, Pure Dream Reality Seeker transformation. He had purposely let Fang Yuan go earlier without using this move. Now that he got rid of Qing Chou, he let his reinforcements block Heavenly Court and Qi-Si Ancestor while he finally went after Fang Yuan. All the immortals were shaken. The battle had been in Spectral Soul's grasp since the start. In history, Spectral Soul was renowned for his killing intent, but that did not mean that he could only kill to solve his problems. He was aloof, crafty, and vicious, but when he was alive, he had no need to use any of these methods. His own strength was sufficient to kill all problems. But now that Spectral Soul's strength was not much higher than his enemies, he started to use various methods to complement his battle strength. At once, a large number of dream realms were reclaimed by Spectral Soul. Fairy Ziwei and the rest fought against Heavenly Court while Qi-Si Ancestor battled Demon Immortal Qi-Ju, facing a disadvantage. Demon Immortal Qi-Ju had the secluded domain of heaven and earth. He resisted Qi-Si Ancestor, who cultivated Qi Path. The situation was critical. Fang Yuan could not use the dream realms to stop his enemies anymore. The door of Dragon Palace suddenly opened. Several pure dream reality seeker physique bodies flew out of his dream realm defensive line, directly heading for Spectral Soul. Boom boom boom. The pure dream reality seeker physique bodies self-detonated, creating dream realms in the air. Spectral Soul quickly dodged them. He managed to avoid being trapped by the dream realms. But using this chance, Wu Shuai moved Dragon Palace out of the dream realm circle through one of the gaps, with myriad year flying warship following behind closely. The intent of the two immortal GU houses was obvious. Where are you trying to go? Spectral Soul shouted as he got past the dream realms, approaching them again. Fang Yuan was his main target. He needed to be killed. This was a prime opportunity. Spectral Soul was going to follow Fang Yuan no matter where he went. Spectral Soul stared at Dragon Palace and myriad year flying warship, his eyes flickering with killing intent and determination. At the next moment, Dragon Palace and myriad year flying warship split up. They escaped in two directions. Spectral Soul was dazed. What should he do? When myriad year flying warship and Dragon Palace were inside the ring of dream realms, they were isolated from the outside. Spectral Soul had no idea which one Fang Yuan was hiding in. There was only one Spectral Soul. He could not chase after both immortal GU houses. But Spectral Soul made his decision almost instantly. He shouted, Demon Immortal Qi-Ju, chase after myriad year flying warship. After we succeed, I will not stint on your reward. Demon Immortal Qi-Ju chuckled as he used Qi-Lan to absorb one of Qi-Si Ancestor's killer moves. He easily moved away and chased after myriad year flying warship. Spectral Soul went after Dragon Palace instead. After receiving his orders, Fairy Ziwei started to retreat. What do we do? Heavenly Court's GU Immortals asked Qin Dingling. Qin Dingling looked at Fairy Ziwei and the rest, saying without hesitation, kill Fang Yuan first. But the problem that Spectral Soul faced earlier was also happening to Heavenly Court. Which immortal GU house was Fang Yuan in? Do we just pick one and gamble on our luck? Qin Dingling frowned. Even though she was not willing to do that, Heavenly Court lacked Wisdom Path GU Immortals. They could only do this. I can help you people. Fairy Ziwei suddenly stopped her movement as she said, I have a way to deduce Fang Yuan's location. Heavenly Court's immortals were dazed. What method? How long will it take? Qi-Si Ancestor asked. With our help, it will only take a moment. Bing Sai Chuan's voice resounded. Everyone turned around, seeing that Calamity Luck Altar had arrived. They finally arrived. Fairy Ziwei let out a breath of air. She was obviously the one who asked the Longevity Heaven members to come. Earlier, Fairy Ziwei and the rest received orders from Spectral Soul to deceive Longevity Heaven and assault Heavenly Court on their own. But the situation changed too quickly. On the way here, Fairy Ziwei analyzed the situation and made the plan to use Longevity Heaven's strength. After getting Spectral Soul's permission, Fairy Ziwei contacted Longevity Heaven immediately. As Calamity Luck Altar approached, Bing Sai Chuan said, Our Lord said that this world does not need too many chess players. The immortals' hearts shook. Bing Sai Chuan's lord was obviously Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. All the signs showed that this Venerable had deep aspirations. He still had abundant will and strength left in the world. In the current situation, Fang Yuan was the most likely person to become Venerable. Immortal Zombie Giant Sun did not want this to happen, thus, he changed his plan and decided to kill Fang Yuan before he could grow fully. Qin Dingling gritted her teeth. She was stuck at a difficult contemplation. Cooperate with Spectral Soul and Longevity Heaven. The former was a demonic path venerable, the latter was a strong foe during the Fate War. They were all responsible for the destruction of Fate. Ally with them. Qin Dingling only thought about it for a few breaths of time before she squeezed out a word, all right. Like what Bing Sai Chuan said earlier, there was no need for too many chess players in the world. Fang Yuan was destined to be their enemy. He was a walking treasure chest. Everyone wanted to kill him first. After that, Heavenly Court would deal with Spectral Soul and Giant Sun. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2035 Qing Clan, S Revenge. 2035 Qing Clan, S Revenge. Rough winds howled in the desert, while the oasis carried a warm breeze. Sandstones piled into a mountain as hot steam rose. There was a calm lake beneath the sandstones, green trees were growing as their leaves rustled under the evening wind, creating the scene of a paradise in Western Desert. Western Desert's Qing clan's base was situated at this oasis that was called the Qing Oasis. Qing clan's Gu immortals were all gathered in a hall. On the icy cold floor of the hall, there were several fragments of Gu worms. All of the Qing clan Gu immortals were fixing their gazes on these fragments. Qing Heng's life tablet Gu shattered. What is happening? Qing Heng died. He had left to hunt the southern border Gu immortal Mingyu. Did he really die at Mingyu's hands? Qing Heng was a rank 7 expert of Qing clan. Even though he was sent by the clan to kill Mingyu, the clan was very confident in him. Recently, for some reason, news that Qing clan obtained Divine Bean Palace had spread. All the other super forces were probing them. With Qing Heng's death, Qing clan became suspicious about the truth. Was this a test by the Western Desert forces? Report. We have accurate information. Mingyu was the one who killed Qing Heng. He has great strength and acts ruthlessly. Qing clan flew into a rage. This Gu immortal from another region has gone too far. We need to kill this Mingyu. We will grind his bones to dust. We will show the other Western Desert super forces the consequences of offending our Qing clan. Before killing him, we should capture this Mingyu and invite the other Western Desert Gu immortals to watch. Only by pulling out his tendons and ripping his skin in public, to humiliate and torture him to death, can I feel satisfied from this revenge. Kill him. He is merely a Gu immortal from another region. He came to Western Desert alone. He actually dared to kill our Gu immortal. He truly has no fear of heaven and earth. Even though Mingyu was able to kill Qing Heng, he only has rank 7 cultivation level. If First Supreme Elder takes action, it would be too excessive. Rumors would also spread that our Qing clan is bullying the weak. In my opinion, we should send out Qing Jing and Qing Hualan. No, to play safe, we should send Qing Chen as well. With 3 immortals, they will definitely be able to capture that Mingyu alive. Let him experience regret and pain. Hurry, don't let that scoundrel escape. Kill Mingyu, display the might of Qing clan. Mingyu must die. When our clan refines Divine Bean Palace in the future, our Qing clan will stand at the top of Western Desert's Gu immortal world. These sentences echoed in Qing Chao's ears. The scenes of the past flashed in Qing Chao's mind. Different from its usual fragmented memories, this time, its memory was very clear and complete. At the same time, the hatred in its heart surged in a tsunami, rampaging in Qing Chao's entire body and mind. Hatred. Deep hatred. Feeling increasingly intense hatred, Qing Chou opened its eyes. Time flew by quickly. Countless years had passed since then. Qing Chao's eyes were bloodshot. It found that it was still lying on the ground, recalling that when fighting Spectral Soul earlier, it was sent flying to the ground, crashing and falling unconscious. Roar! Qing Chou roared as it stood up within the deep pit. The rank 9 aura of hatred Gu became even denser. The power of hatred surged throughout Qing Chao's body. Mingyu! Mingyu! Spectral Soul! Spectral Soul! Qing Chou roared towards the sky. Its eyes were covered in rage. Its hair was disheveled. Even though Spectral Soul had already gone after Dragon Palace, the power of hatred Gu allowed Qing Chou to locate Spectral Soul easily without a problem. Rumble. Qing Chou had a mountain-like tortoise shell, tiger claws and dragon tail, as well as a snake neck and human head. It flew up rapidly as winds surrounded it, charging towards the direction of Spectral Soul. As for Fairy Ziwei and the rest who were creating a formation in the sky, it ignored them. Among these Gu immortals in the sky, there was one elderly Gu immortal. He had wide sleeves and fluttering white hair. He was Fang Yuan's clone, Qi Si ancestor. Seeing that Qing Chou was flying away, Qi Si ancestor let out a breath of air, no longer worried. Earlier in Western Desert, even though Fang Yuan used familiar face to transform, he was still chased by Qing Chou. Qing Chou possessed hatred Gu, because of the influence of Karma Divine Tree. It had an intense connection to Spectral Soul and everyone related to him. Fang Yuan's main body could not deceive Qing Chou while Qi Si ancestor was Fang Yuan's clone. He would definitely be sensed by Qing Chou as well. But now, Spectral Soul and Fang Yuan were enemies. They wanted each other to die. Thus, because of their changed relationship, Qing Chou no longer went after him. Even though Qing Chao's threat is gone, Fairy Ziwei is still a big problem. Qi Si ancestor cast his gaze at Fairy Ziwei. Fairy Ziwei wore a purple gold dress. She had a graceful figure with hair that extended to her waist. She moved mysteriously as she flew in the sky, her fingers fluttering like butterflies in the sky. countless GU worms were sent out and used together. In the sky, an amazing wisdom path immortal formation was already taking shape, one could see its form already. Old man Zheng Yuan assisted at the side. Qin Dingling, Che Wei, and the other heavenly court GU immortals looked at Fairy Zi Wei. They had complex emotions, there was hatred, anger, pity, and sadness. There was a round altar that was almost in contact with the wisdom path formation, floating in the sky. It had white jade railings and shining aurora. This was rank 8 immortal GU house Calamity Luck altar. Calamity Luck altar was controlled by Bing Sai Chuan. He had a sharp gaze as he looked at heavenly court's GU immortals and Qi Si ancestor, not daring to relax his mind. Calamity Luck altar protected Fairy Zi Wei and the rest, as well as the wisdom path formation. Longevity Heaven, who represented Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, had already cooperated with Spectral Soul's Shadow Sect long ago. Fang Yuan has the potential to become a Venerable, we cannot let him do as he pleases. If such a person becomes a Venerable, it will not benefit any of us. Bing Sai Chuan transmitted. He tried to convince Qi Si ancestor, Qin Dingling, and the rest, not knowing that Fang Yuan's clone was right here. Qin Dingling only listened to him, she did not reply. The winds howled around her, causing her cape to flutter. She wore a tight golden armor and was tall and grand, she had a valiant demeanor. She stared at the wisdom path formation at times, looking at the dream realms occasionally. This dream realm was left behind by Fang Yuan. He had originally tried to use the dream realms to stop his enemies, but Spectral Soul plotted against him instead. Fang Yuan had to escape from this battlefield. This dream realm was left behind, shining and moving on its own continuously. Where is Fang Yuan now? I only saw that Dragon Palace and myriad year flying warship flew out of the dream realm and escaped the battlefield. There is a third possibility, he is still hiding in this dream realm. Qin Dingling thought to herself. Precisely because of this reason, she stayed behind to guard this dream realm. Fang Yuan was too crafty. Even though staying in the dream realm seemed stupid, there was a chance that Fang Yuan might do this purposely. Seeing that the wisdom path formation was completing, Qi Si ancestor felt increasing pressure. I can't wait anymore. Thoughts collided in Qi Si ancestor's mind. He thought, looking at Fairy Zi Wei's attitude, with Bai Ningbing and Ying Wuxie at the lead, this formation might likely deduce the main body's location. The main body does not have much foundation in information path, otherwise, if we could break our connection with Bai Ningbing and He Lu Lan, even 3 of Fairy Zi Wei combined would not be able to do anything. Fairy Zi Wei and the rest have great strength, with Calamity Luck Altar's defense and Bing Sai Chuan's wariness towards Heavenly Court. If I attack now, I will not be able to destroy the formation, Heavenly Court would instead get suspicious of me. The Qi Si clone was powerful, but he could not turn this situation around alone and suppress everyone. The key person now was still Qin Dingling. Qi Si ancestor listened to Bing Sai Chuan's words while asking Qin Dingling in secret. Looking at this situation, Shadow Sect and Longevity Heaven think highly of this formation. But can we trust them? Regardless of whether Fairy Zi Wei can deduce a result successfully, the formation is still under her control. If she tells us a location, how do we ensure that it is right? Will Fairy Zi Wei hide anything from us? The Qi Si clone started to sow discord. He could not let Bing Sai Chuan ally with the Heavenly Court GU Immortals too. Otherwise, the main body would face the pressure of Shadow Sect, Longevity Heaven, and Heavenly Court. It would be too much. If this was the Heavenly Court from Fang Yuan's previous life, they would definitely have no inclination to work with other forces. But Fate GU was destroyed by Fang Yuan. Heavenly Court lost their greatest spiritual banner. They also suffered many setbacks and lost a lot of reputation. One could say that their title of the #1 human force was already undeserved. They faced a lot of criticism. Heavenly Court's GU Immortals were all elites. They learned from this lesson and started to change. Qin Dingling was the leader of Heavenly Court. She started to gather help and put down her pride. Earlier, when Qin Dingling took the initiative to help Qi Si ancestor chase away demon immortal Qi Ju, it was the best proof of this. Thus, the probability that Heavenly Court, Shadow Sect, and Longevity Heaven would work together was not low. The Qi Si clone's words were very effective. Heavenly Court and Fairy Zi Wei could not trust each other. This way, even if Fairy Zi Wei's deduction succeeded, it would not have any meaning. Qin Dingling was silent for a while before transmitting to Qi Si ancestor. I would like ancestor to go and chase after Dragon Palace and Spectral Soul. Qi Si ancestor was slightly dazed. Do you know the location of Fang Yuan already? I don't. Qin Dingling smiled at Qi Si ancestor. The Qi Si clone looked at Qin Dingling deeply in the eye. He realized that Qin Dingling knew what she was doing. She had never trusted Shadow Sect's Fairy Zi Wei or Longevity Heaven. Trusting them was stupid. The reason she stayed behind was to guard the dream realm and also rest and recover. Heavenly Court lacked a peak rank 8 battle strength. After leaving Heavenly Court, they also lost their territorial advantage. They seemed powerful and had great morale, but if they were careless, they would suffer huge losses. Heavenly Court could not afford to lose any more. Qin Dingling had to be vigilant and careful. Right now, Spectral Soul was chasing Dragon Palace, Qing Cho was chasing Spectral Soul, while Demon Immortal Qi Ju was chasing Myriad Year Flying Warship. Qin Dingling knew that Demon Immortal Qi Ju, who had Qi Land, was Qi Si Ancestor's greatest counter. Even if Fang Yuan was inside Myriad Year Flying Warship, Qi Si Ancestor would not be able to do anything to Demon Immortal Qi Ju even if he went there. Instead, if Qi Si Ancestor chased after Spectral Soul, he would be able to influence the situation. From Heavenly Court's perspective, Fang Yuan was someone who needed to die. Shadow Sector Longevity Heaven were enemies as well. But Heavenly Court's strength was not like before. They were very weak. Even though Qi Si Ancestor was on their side, he was still not their member after all. Qin Dingling sighed deeply. Fang Yuan is too crafty. Even though him splitting up seemed simple, it allowed the pressure on him to decrease greatly. We have no choice but to stay behind and temporarily stop chasing him. Spectral Soul is stronger than Demon Immortal Qi Ju. If he kills Fang Yuan and gets everything, this former demon Venerable will rise up again. Qi Si Ancestor, we hope you can think for the sake of everyone in the world, let these two demons fight it out while our righteous path remains victorious in the end. Qin Dingling was a talented leader after all. Even though she was leading a weaker Heavenly Court, she had never given up. She made plans to try and raise their chances of victory as much as possible. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2036 Strong, Weak. 2036 Strong, Weak. Go. Fairy Ziwei called out as her fingers moved rapidly, producing countless shadows. The killer move activated. 1,000 GU worms flew out and turned into a vague purple shadow that filled up the final blank area of the Wisdom Path formation. The GU Immortals watched were all first-rate GU Immortals in the entire 5 regions. Seeing this, they could not help but admit that Fairy Ziwei was very skilled at setting up formations. Fairy Ziwei let out a breath of air, perspiration gathering on her forehead. Her eyes stared at the formation before her. At this point, it was time to add in the core Immortal GU. This situation was quite peculiar. Fairy Ziwei was setting up the formation in front of many strong foes. There was a chance that these GU Immortals might attack her during the process. Thus, Fairy Ziwei used a rare method for this arrangement. She first placed the Mortal GU and set up a bare framework first, before filling it up with Immortal GU at the end. Fairy Ziwei temporarily stopped her actions to catch a breather. She looked at Qin Dingling and Calamity Luck Altar. Calamity Luck Altar was shining in brilliant light. The GU Immortal controlling the Immortal GU house, Bing Sai Chuan, knew about her worries. He transmitted, "With my protection, you can rest assured, quickly set up the formation." Fairy Ziwei did not have Fang Yuan's formation flag GU, otherwise, she would not need to set up this formation each time. She knew that time was running out. After hearing Bing Sai Chuan's words, she started to put Immortal GU into the formation. Each time an Immortal GU was placed, the formation would shake once and shine in a beautiful purple light. The scene was incredibly beautiful. It was a pity that none of the GU Immortals had the mood to appreciate it. Inside Calamity Luck Altar, Bing Sai Chuan stared at the formation, guarding against any potential threats that would attack. He broke the silence as he said, "Hey Lu Lan, you have been with Fang Yuan for a long time. What do you think he would do in this situation?" Hey Lu Lan was standing right beside Bing Sai Chuan. Even though she was a woman, her face had strong contours. She possessed sharp and long brows, bright eyes and a heroic aura. Hey Lu Lan heard the question. She thought about it and said, "Fang Yuan only has 3 options, Dragon Palace, Myriad Year Flying Warship, or to stay in the Dream Realm. Hiding in the Dream Realm is too risky for Fang Yuan. Not only can Spectral Soul take the Dream Realm away, Heavenly Court also has ways to deal with the Dream Realm. If I were Fang Yuan, I would not stay here and wait for death." Of course, Hey Lu Lan smiled helplessly. This is not guaranteed to be the case. Thus, Heavenly Court chose to stay by the Dream Realm. Fairy Ziwei has also stayed behind to make deductions using the formation. She is also observing the Dream Realm. She is a Wisdom Path great expert. She knows that she cannot interfere with the 2 Immortal GU houses. She is most needed here. Myriad Year Flying Warship is faster than Dragon Palace. This can deceive the enemy, but I do not think that Fang Yuan would hide inside it. This is because Myriad Year Flying Warship is still slower than Spectral Soul, but its defense is lower than Dragon Palace. If Spectral Soul chooses to chase Myriad-Year Flying Warship and attack it, Myriad-Year Flying Warship would not last as long as Dragon Palace. He Lu Lan smiled coldly. During the Fate War, Fang Yuan lost his 12 Zodiac Battle Formation. If it were still around, he would likely escape in Myriad-Year Flying Warship. Thus, I think that Fang Yuan is most likely hiding inside Dragon Palace. He Lu Lan had an eerie gaze. Spectral Soul likely thinks the same too, that is why he chased Dragon Palace while asking Demon Immortal Chi-Ju to go after Myriad-Year Flying Warship. He made precautions for both situations. Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal body originated from Spectral Soul. He also has all of Spectral Soul's dream realms. If Spectral Soul can kill him and reclaim the sovereign immortal body in the dream realms, he will rise up once again. Even though we want to kill Fang Yuan, we cannot let Spectral Soul succeed. Even though Shadow Sect is working with us now, they have ill intentions. After all, Fairy Ziwei managed to deduce the fact Fang Yuan was in Heavenly Court, but they kept it from us, allowing Spectral Soul to attack Heavenly Court alone. Only when they needed our reinforcement did they call for us. Thus, in my opinion, we should just watch from the side and exert influence on the situation. If possible, it will be best if we can take down Spectral Soul, Fang Yuan, and Heavenly Court in one move. Ha ha ha, Bing Sai Chuan laughed loudly, praising, good analysis. Quite impressive. Northern Plains He tribe was too disappointing, but you live up to Giant Sun's bloodline. I'll tell you the truth, after I woke up, I received information about you. After observing you for some time, I can say that you are a genius. It was just that your life was quite tough, you were schemed against by your father and suppressed by Fang Yuan, you merely lacked an opportunity to develop, otherwise, you would not be in this state. He Lu Lan heard the praise, her gaze focused on Bing Sai Chuan's face. Bing Sai Chuan had a tall body, his face was gentle but there was an ugly scar extending from his right ear to his left cheek. He originally had a cold expression but now, he looked at He Lu Lan with admiration and satisfaction. He Lu Lan's heart jumped, an intense feeling appeared in her heart. Bing Sai Chuan's appreciation towards her ability was probably the most valuable fortuitous encounter in her life. After realizing that, He Lu Lan did not hesitate anymore, she stood straight and cupped her fists. I will listen to Lord's orders. Bing Sai Chuan laughed loudly, before stopping as he looked at He Lu Lan with a solemn and serious gaze. Good, He Lu Lan, are you willing to rebuild Northern Plains He tribe? Northern Plains He tribe had been taken down long ago, it was now occupied by Heavenly Lord Baizu to develop his tribe. He tribe's GU immortals even became members of Baizu tribe, they were simply the disgrace of the Huangjin bloodline. He Lu Lan expressed her willingness to do so no matter what. But I am currently too weak. He Lu Lan purposely showed a hesitant expression filled with difficulty. Bing Sai Chuan waved his hand as he tossed her a GU worm. He Lu Lan quickly received it. She saw that this rank 7 immortal GU looked like a black and gold beetle, it was very heavy, He Lu Lan did not recognize it at once. Bing Sai Chuan explained. He Lu Lan, you have the great strength true martial physique, you should cultivate solely strength path, your future will be very bright. You have our Huangjin bloodline, you are a northern plainsman from birth, I am sure you will not disappoint me, we will not stint on your strength path resources from now on. Take this strong GU first, even though it is rule path, it suits you very well. Strong GU, He Lu Lan's body shook. Alright, Fairy Ziwei's formation is ready, go inside first. Bing Sai Chuan instructed. He Lu Lan left Calamity Luck Altar and went into the formation. She had a plain expression but her heart was filled with deep emotions and turbulence. Strong GU was recorded in U003CU003C The Legends of Ren Zhu 003 EU003E, it had a close connection to the great strength true martial physique. Bing Sai Chuan gave this legendary immortal GU to He Lu Lan, it showed how much he wanted to nurture her. He Lu Lan realized in her heart, it seems that my life is going to undergo a huge change now. U003CU003C The Legends of Ren Zhu 003 EU003E, Chapter 5, Section 31 states. Ren Zhu lost freedom GU, he was anguished and only recovered after a long time. Ren Zhu was troubled, he asked Cognition GU, "Oh Cognition GU, how can I obtain freedom GU again? After what happened last time, freedom GU will not approach me anymore." Cognition GU answered, "Oh human, why do you desire freedom GU so much?" Ren Zhu replied irritably, "Don't you know the reason already? I am searching for freedom in order to break free of the restraints of fate." Cognition GU answered once again, "Then I have nothing much to tell you. Haven't you told Fate GU the answer to this question already?" Ren Zhu was dazed before he recalled. Before he went insane, he met Fate Gu. When he was harmed by Fate Gu, he shouted at it that he would use his own strength and wisdom to obtain freedom, he would eventually break free from Fate's control. Ren Zhu's eyes brightened. Oh Gu, I remember now, thank you for the reminder. I need to rely on myself to break free of Fate. I already have my own strength, what I lack is my own wisdom. I need to let self Gu eat a mouthful of wisdom Gu, just like how it ate a part of strength Gu in the past. But where is wisdom Gu? Ren Zhu asked cognition Gu. Cognition Gu, I do not know. Wisdom Gu has been to many places, its location is not fixed. You can find wisdom in countless places, so human, you need to find it yourself. Ren Zhu nodded as he set off on his journey again. He walked and walked and walked. One day, he saw two Gu worms chasing each other along the road. One Gu worm was white and tiny, it escaped ahead as it begged for mercy. Stop chasing me, I do not want to be eaten by you. The other Gu was clearly larger in size, it had thick armor and said in a deep tone, I want to eat you, I want to eat you. No matter where you escape to, I will eat you. The tiny white Gu was about to be caught by the larger Gu behind, it suddenly saw Ren Zhu and hid behind him. Oh human, I beg of you, quickly save me. Ren Zhu saw that this Gu worm was so pitiful, it was chased by another Gu worm, unable to fend for itself, he felt like he was seeing himself. At this instance, a new heart grew in his chest, the heart of sympathy. Ren Zhu stretched out both arms as he stopped the larger Gu. Stop chasing it. The armored Gu shouted, Hey human, are you obstructing me? No, you cannot stop me, you are unable to stop me. Why is that so? Ren Zhu was curious. The armored Gu explained, I am strong Gu, that is weak Gu. Since time immemorial, the rule of nature is that the strong prey on the weak. Thus, strong must eat weak, weaklings are the food of the strong. Ren Zhu sighed as he tried to convince the Gu, then why don't you let it off just this once, look at how pitiful it is. Strong Gu sneered, not even once. In the eyes of the strong, weaklings have no stature, there is no sympathy for the weak. This is because heaven and earth will never pity the weak, it will only marvel at the incredible feats of the strong. Weaklings are born to be subdued, controlled, and devoured by the strong. Ren Zhu saw that his words fell on deaf ears, he could only deny strong Gu forcefully, I have already saved this Gu, go and eat others. Strong Gu knew that it could not beat Ren Zhu alone, it could only fly away in dissatisfaction, I will be back. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc. please let us know less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2037 Myriad Destruction Lightning Force. 2037 Myriad Destruction Lightning Force. Bai Ningbing, Ying Wuxie, and the rest went into the formation one by one. Finally, Fairy Ziwei also went to the center of the formation, activating it. The deduction was beginning. Qi Si Ancestor did not move, he stayed at the original spot. If I take action now to destroy the formation, will it help my main body? Qi Si Ancestor analyzed, he estimated his chances. Once the formation was damaged or even destroyed, the Gu Immortals inside would suffer backlash, but Qi Si Ancestor could not be certain of the exact effect. Furthermore, if Qi Si Ancestor struck now, the secret that he was Fang Yuan's clone would be exposed for sure. If only I could convince Qin Dingling and the rest to strike together. Qi Si Ancestor sighed internally. Even though Qin Dingling was not a wisdom path great expert, she was not so easy to deceive. Qi Si Ancestor did not even dare to say anything on now, otherwise, Heavenly Court might find out the truth instead. Ancestor, time is pressing, you need to consider the big picture. Qin Dingling was secretly sending transmissions to him, trying to convince Qi Si Ancestor. She wanted him to chase after Dragon Palace and Spectral Soul, but Qi Si Ancestor started to talk about payment instead. Qi Si Ancestor sighed. Fairy Qin, precisely because of the big picture, I am being shameless in asking you for the 3 Qi Immortal Gu. My methods are all known by the enemies, only with these Immortal Gu can I gain a boost in strength and catch the enemies by surprise. For the sake of the people, for the righteousness of humanity, I hope you will consider the big picture and give those 3 Immortal Gu to me. Qin Dingling mentally rolled her eyes, this Qi Si Ancestor was not just shameless, he was incomparably so, using this opportunity to ask for huge compensation. He wanted 3 rank 8 Immortal Gu at once, the course of primordial origin's true inheritance. He was simply too greedy. But Qin Dingling had many worries now, if she fell out with Qi Si Ancestor, Heavenly Court would not have any peak rank 8 battle strength, they would likely be targeted by Shadow Sect and Longevity Heaven. Qi Si clone purposely chose this current situation to exert pressure on Qin Dingling. Qin Dingling sighed. Qi Si ancestor, why must you force us now? Back then, in Eastern Sea, who helped you to resist demon immortal Qi Ju? Qi Si ancestor replied, if we want to talk about favors, I am sure you all owe me more. I have already gotten rid of Heavenly Court's biggest threat, the Qi harvest fruit is gone now. Also, in this battle, I have never slacked off, I took risks alongside all of you. Qin Dingling was silent for a while before she replied solemnly, I can give Heaven Qi and Earth Qi Immortal GU to you, but Human Qi Immortal GU is out of the question. This is the bottom line of Heavenly Court, please understand our circumstances, ancestor. Qi Si ancestor accepted the result. The truth was, the Qi Si clone did not think he would get all 3 Qi Immortal GU to begin with. They were all rank 8 Immortal GU connected to primordial origin true inheritance, they were too valuable, far beyond the value of the supposed payment. Heavenly Court could have used other resources to pay him, but because the situation was really urgent now, the Qi Si clone fought for the greatest benefit. Of course, the fact that Qin Dingling gave the 2 Qi Path rank 8 Immortal GU to Qi Si ancestor on the spot caused all of the GU immortals to gasp in amazement. Qi Si ancestor obtained 2 Immortal GU, he said his goodbyes to the Heavenly Court immortals as he chased after Dragon Palace immediately. I finally got him to work. Qin Dingling felt very tired, but this outcome was not too bad. She would not give all 3 Qi Immortal GU to Qi Si ancestor, she had to keep at least 1 to use as bait against him. Furthermore, Qi Si ancestor obtained 2 Qi Immortal GU, he only needed Human Qi Immortal GU to be able to use the killer move Triple Qi Retraction, this temptation was probably even greater now that he had 2 of them. Dragon Palace flew rapidly in the wild winds. In the Dream Realm earlier, Wu Shuai got sufficient time to put all his effort into repairing Dragon Palace, at least from the outside, it looked restored. The damage to the core Immortal GU cannot be resolved quickly, this is already my limit. Wu Shuai was very worried. Behind Dragon Palace, a female rank 8 Soul Path Immortal was chasing it relentlessly. It was Spectral Soul who was inside Lady Cold Ash's body. He emanated black chi as he surged with killing intent, he locked onto Dragon Palace without any signs of hesitation or giving up. You cannot escape, Fang Yuan. Even if you escape to the ends of the world, I will definitely kill you. Spectral Soul had just said that when his pupils expanded. Wherever Spectral Soul's gaze landed, smoke that was pitch black appeared, quickly reaching Dragon Palace. The smoke expanded rapidly, with a soft sound, it turned into a round spiral that had an immense suction force. Wu Shuai was controlling Dragon Palace, he was caught by surprise as Dragon Palace's speed fell, it fell towards the black smoke spiral. What move is this? Wu Shuai gritted his teeth, veins bulged on his forehead as he tried to move Dragon Palace to the sky. Ever since they fought, Spectral Soul's soul path methods had been endless, it was hard to guard against them. Especially when Spectral Soul was such an expert with abundant experiences, he could use these soul path killer moves beyond their usual limits. Dragon Palace turned around with difficulty, attempting to fly away from the black smoke spiral from above. Spectral Soul sneered, he pointed his finger. Black light quickly gathered on his finger, it shot out, instantly hitting the area around Dragon Palace. The tiny black light expanded rapidly, turning into an immemorial soul beast. Seeing that the immemorial soul beast was about to pounce on Dragon Palace, Wu Shuai was shocked, his pupils expanded rapidly. If Dragon Palace got hit, its movement would be obstructed, it would fall into the black spiral along with the immemorial soul beast. In that case, the precious time that Fang Yuan obtained through this tactic would be completely wasted. At the crucial moment, Wu Shuai shouted, his eyes shined with mysterious dazzling light. Dragon Palace reacted to it, golden light erupted, a wave of pink smoke rapidly gathered, easily dragging the immemorial soul beast away, into the depths of Dragon Palace. The powerful immemorial soul beast could not resist it at all. Spectral Soul was not surprised. This was the Dream Path killer move, Dreamy Light Smoke. Wu Shuai got rid of the immemorial soul beast, Dragon Palace managed to fly far above the spiral. At this time, Spectral Soul's body suddenly appeared near Dragon Palace, his eyes shined with cold light, I have been waiting for this. At the same time, Spectral Soul, who was far away, faded into nothingness. Spectral Soul slammed with his palm, the silhouette of a soul mountain appeared and pressed down on Dragon Palace. This soul mountain was huge, the top was beyond the clouds, looking from below, Wu Shuai's entire vision was obstructed. It covered the entire sky. But the Soul Mountain's appearance was very familiar to Wu Shuai. Isn't this Danghun Mountain? Wu Shuai was shocked and uncertain. Bam! With a loud sound, Danghun Mountain crashed down on Dragon Palace. Dragon Palace's beautiful roof met with a devastating blow. Countless tiles shattered, many GU worms died at once. And even worse was that due to the impact, even though Dragon Palace struggled, it was slammed into the black smoke spiral by the giant Soul Mountain. The spiral surrounded the entirety of Dragon Palace, an immeasurable suction force started acting on it. Dragon Palace spun around along with the spiral, losing its sense of direction. Wu Shuai had to leave his throne as he tried to think of a way to break out of this situation, but it was hopeless in the short term. Don't tell me this is Spectral Soul's truth strength. Wu Shuai gritted his teeth. Spectral Soul unleashed several killer moves in succession. Wu Shuai was very tired in trying to deal with them. The great rank 8 Immortal GU House Dragon Palace could not put up a resistance. With Spectral Soul's array of killer moves, he managed to suppress Dragon Palace forcefully. Wu Shuai stared with furious eyes. He had to try and delay for time. He instilled Immortal Essence to try and fix the Immortal GU House, wanting to maintain his defensive position. In this situation, the main body's safety is in my hands. But how long can I last? Wu Shuai was completely unsure at this point. Fang Yuan's main body was deep inside Dragon Palace. The Heaven Path Dao marks prevented him from doing anything now. The unlimited Qi Si killer move he used earlier against the primordial Qi wall was also prepared for a long time. He used human path methods to find a gap in the restriction of the Heaven Path Dao marks, allowing him to make one move. But with just that action, after breaking the Qi wall, the Heaven Path Dao marks reacted and started to obstruct Fang Yuan in another way. Thankfully, Fang Yuan did not get greedy and quickly stopped using his killer move. Otherwise, the strong interference would cause his killer move to fail. He would suffer intense backlash. Fang Yuan only found that Human Path could resist Heaven Path. Dream Path might be effective, but his attainment in Dream Path was not high enough. Ever since he obtained Heavenly Court's Heaven Path research results, Fang Yuan had been researching on them. He was fighting against time. It was possible that a minute's or even a second's difference would lead to either surviving or dying. Immortal Killer Move, Heaven Human Sensation. Immortal Killer Move, Human executing Heaven's work. Within the Sovereign Immortal Aperture, Fang Yuan's will mixed with Heaven's will, he sensed various Heaven Path Dao marks. Refine them. Immortal Killer Move, Unrestrained Heavenly Mark. This killer move was meant to deal with Heaven Path Dao marks. Fang Yuan did not care about the cost. He expended rank 8 Immortal Essence rapidly. He quickly refined 3 Heaven Path Dao marks successfully. Wu Shuai, persevere, I have already made a huge breakthrough. The moment Fang Yuan transmitted to Wu Shuai, a change occurred in the Immortal Aperture. Fang Yuan's success infuriated Heaven's will. The Heaven Path Dao marks were like angry beasts. They were originally scattered all over the place, but now they gathered together. Rumble. Thunder rumbled as lightning roared. Dark clouds formed as wild winds blew. The Heaven Path Dao marks triggered a huge change. In just a few breaths of time, a tribulation was formed. At that instant, earth shook as mountains rumbled, lightning flashed and shattered rocks. The earth was crying out in sorrow. Fang Yuan's heart jumped. Don't tell me that forcefully refining Heaven Path Dao marks will anger the Heavenly Dao and cause a tribulation to occur. Or maybe the killer move I used has a problem. Lightning clouds continued to form and spread out. Soon, they spread over 100 li, several thousand li, tens of thousands of li, and over 100,000 li. Millions of lightning bolts flickered continuously. This was like a huge forest made of lightning bolts. Myriad tribulation, myriad destruction lightning forest. It was not an earthly calamity, a heavenly tribulation, or a grand tribulation, it was actually a myriad tribulation. Only a rank 8 GU immortal could face such a tribulation. It was a myriad tribulation. They put fear into most rank 8 GU immortals. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2038 Internal and External Problems. 2038 Internal and External Problems. Fang Yuan immediately frowned, as if a huge rock was weighing on his mind. His expression turned grim. He did not think that a myriad tribulation would occur. Rank 8 GU immortals stood at the peak of the GU immortal world, but for each one of them, every myriad tribulation was a troublesome hurdle. In the current GU immortal world, most rank 8 GU immortals have not gone through one myriad tribulation. For example, Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu and Yao Huang were like this. Even Prince Feng Xian was the same. Back then, why did old ancestor Shui Hu try all means possible to refine fortune rivaling Heaven GU? It was to deal with his first ever myriad tribulation in this life. It was a pity that he created a huge commotion and ended up with a huge loss. Not only did old ancestor Shui who failed to refine fortune rivaling heaven Gu, he even lost the whole of snowy mountain blessed land. Western Desert's 1,000 transformations ancestor had gone through one myriad tribulation. He survived it by a hair's breadth. He was forced to recuperate for a long time. During the period, his beloved fairy Kui Bo was killed by Fang Yuan, yet he could only send dancer Hong Yun to investigate it. Beast Calamity Immortal died after suffering heavy injuries from his first myriad tribulation, leaving behind Beast Calamity Grotto Heaven. Bo Qing was a rank 8 GU Immortal who had passed 2 myriad tribulations, Duke Long was 2. Throughout history, both of them were top-tier experts merely below Venerable level. Even though Fang Yuan possessed over 1,000,000 Dao marks after becoming a rank 8 GU Immortal, the truth was that he used the Sovereign Immortal Aperture's specialty to annex Grotto Heavens. He skipped all his myriad tribulations. Thus, Fang Yuan had not gone through a single myriad tribulation. In his case, myriad tribulations were still huge problems. And the biggest issue now was that this current situation was really inappropriate to undergo tribulation. Fang Yuan could not estimate how long Wu Shuai could last. After all, Spectral Soul was a terrifying foe that they could not assess. I need to refine these Heaven Path Dao marks as soon as possible, only after that can I face Spectral Soul. But to refine Heaven Path Dao marks, I need to undergo myriad tribulation. Fang Yuan felt like there was a tsunami now. He went up the mountain to avoid the flood but found out that this was actually a volcano. And now, this volcano was about to erupt. Externally was Spectral Soul, internally was the myriad tribulation. At this moment, Fang Yuan fell into the greatest predicament of his life so far. No, I still have a chance. Even in this situation, Fang Yuan remained calm, he was not flustered. At the same time, at another area, myriad year flying warship and demon immortal Qi Ju were escaping and chasing respectively. Suddenly, Fang Yuan flew out of myriad year flying warship, using his killer move with ferocity as he forced back Demon Immortal Qi Ju temporarily. Demon Immortal Qi Ju immediately used his investigative method. After confirming this, he transmitted to Spectral Soul, Fang Yuan is here with me, I can't deal with him alone. Come quickly, otherwise, he might escape. Spectral Soul heard the news and got stunned for a moment. Is Fang Yuan really not in Dragon Palace? Spectral Soul thought rapidly, his attacks also slowed down as a result. Right now, even though Dragon Palace was trapped, it was still a rank 8 immortal GU house, it could last for a while. Fang Yuan was rushing against time, Spectral Soul was the same. If he wasted time with Dragon Palace, even if he destroyed it, Fang Yuan would escape, then this entire pursuit would fail because he could not meet his goal. Victory in battle was never important, only the benefits behind it mattered. Combat was just one of the ways to gain benefits, the glory of victory was completely irrelevant to Spectral Soul. Fang Yuan has familiar face, he can create a will and give it immortal essence and immortal GU to create a false impression of being the main body. Spectral Soul knew about this information, thus he was quite troubled now. Even though he was strong, far beyond other GU immortals, he could be called the number 1 in the world, but Fang Yuan was crafty and hard to catch, this situation was quite vexing. Spectral Soul knew he had to be vigilant, otherwise, he would follow in Heavenly Court's footsteps. This Fang Yuan was just too good at escaping. The Sovereign Immortal Aperture was facing countless lightning bolts. Ever since the myriad tribulation formed, it had been attacking non-stop. Many southern borders suffered severe damage. The Heavenly Dao sought to balance deficit and surplus. Which area in the Sovereign Immortal Aperture was the most developed? It was undoubtedly Mini Southern Border. Thus, the Heavenly Dao created this myriad tribulation that targeted Mini Southern Border. Myriad tribulation, myriad destruction lightning forest. Fang Yuan gritted his teeth, doing his best to make arrangements. He ignored Spectral Soul who was outside now, he let Wu Shuai try to stall for time. Rumble, Cloud Bamboo Mountain was completely broken apart into countless pieces by the lightning bolts. There were 8 desolate beast cloud foxes living on the mountain, and 11 desolate plant spear-tip bamboos, they were completely wiped from existence by the lightning bolts. Cloud chi roots, white-hair ginseng and a vast number of ordinary spear-tip bamboos were all destroyed too. The 7-colored cloud soil inside the mountain were also affected, they were scattered all over the place. After the damage from the lightning, their value fell drastically. Cloud Bamboo Mountain was originally taken from southern borders Kai clan by Fang Yuan, it had the weakest defensive formation, thus at this moment, it was completely decimated beyond recognition. Soon, the other resource points started to face problems too. I need to solve this internal threat as soon as possible. Fang Yuan thought to himself, but the power of the myriad destruction lightning forest was terrifying, he could not do anything about it, each of his actions were still restricted by the heaven path Dao marks. Thankfully, there was a bunch of GU immortals in the sovereign immortal aperture. Among them, Shui'er, Shi Chang, and Mo Tansang were nurtured by Fang Yuan to become the new leaders of their variant human tribes. Their cultivation level was too weak, asking them to help out was simply sending them to death's doors. I will help. At the moment of crisis, an elderly GU immortal stepped up, emanating rank 8 aura. Since when did Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture gain such a powerful expert? This elderly man was none other than the sole rank 8 in Beast Calamity Grotto Heaven, the current generation combat Beast King. Ever since Fang Yuan's plan succeeded and he annexed Beast Calamity Grotto Heaven, all of the GU immortals inside were turned into his subordinates. After that, Fang Yuan gave them the true method of GU cultivation. During the Fate War, most of the rank 7 GU immortals were sent out to fight. Until now, Fang Yuan did not have any time to recall them, they were still wandering around in the 5 regions. Combat Beast King was a different case, because he had been cultivating inside Star Collection City, his strength rose greatly. This was Fang Yuan's backup plan during the Fate War to guard against people trying to invade his immortal aperture. During the Fate War, this situation did not occur, and now that the sovereign immortal aperture had a myriad tribulation, with Fang Yuan unable to make a move, he could only send out the combat Beast King. Winds blew, starlight shot out. The rank 8 star sea snail corpse was taken out by Fang Yuan, handed to combat Beast King. The combat Beast King did not hesitate, he immediately used his killer move and turned into a giant covered in starlight armor. The giant roared as his body flew up towards the sky of lightning clouds. Crack! When the giant reached half the distance, several lightning bolts combined into one, the pillar-like bolt shot down on the star-armored giant. If this were in the past, Combat Beast King would definitely die from getting hit by this. But after this period of cultivation, he had already learned how to use immortal killer moves. Thus, the defensive killer move was used by Combat Beast King before he moved, it managed to resist the lightning bolts. But the giant's advancement was also halted at this moment. The giant landed back on the ground, its majestic body shivering as sparks remained on its body. Combat Beast King's limbs were going numb, his movements were greatly affected. Myriad tribulations are truly terrifying. Combat Beast King was tongue-tied, he spoke with deep shock. Fang Yuan frowned tightly. Earlier, the lightning bolts combined to target Combat Beast King, that was the work of Heaven's will. The Heaven Path Dao marks were too densely gathered now, Heaven's will was naturally being produced. With the manipulation of Heaven's will, the terrifying myriad tribulation became even more adaptive, it led to despair. I have the killer move Heaven's will dissipation, I can even get rid of Heaven's will in dream realms. Unfortunately, I cannot use it now. Fang Yuan sighed to himself, he needed to refine the Heaven Path Dao marks, he had to mingle with Heaven's will and use both Heaven Human Sensation and Human Executing Heaven's work to capture the location of the Heaven Path Dao marks. After that, he would use unrestrained heavenly mark to refine the relevant Heaven Path Dao marks. Thus, Heaven's will was necessary. Once Fang Yuan gets rid of the Heaven's will, he would also not be able to refine these Heaven Path Dao marks. But the Heaven Path Dao marks gathered and created a myriad tribulation, this greatly affected my refinement of the Heaven Path Dao marks, my efficiency is less than 1% of before. Originally, the Heaven Path Dao marks were scattered all over the sovereign immortal aperture, they were like divided troops, Fang Yuan could refine them group by group, the refinement was very effective. But now that the Heaven Path Dao marks gathered into one tight group, Fang Yuan would have huge problems in trying to target them, his refinement also started to have no progress. With this speed of refining the Heaven Path Dao marks, how long would it take? Fang Yuan's circumstances were really precarious. Oh no, I can't hold on anymore. When it rains, it pours. At this moment, Wu Shuai shouted loudly as he requested for Fang Yuan's help. This Dragonman clone was also in a bind now. Veins were bulging on his forehead, he was sweating profusely, Dragon Palace was trapped in the black smoke spiral, it was taking huge damage at all times. With cracking tiles and pillars, the whole of Dragon Palace was visibly shrinking. Wu Shuai could only do his best to repair it, but his speed could not match Spectral Soul's destruction. Seeing that a crucial area was about to be destroyed, Wu Shuai had no choice but to ask for help. Fang Yuan knew that his clone would not ask unless he was desperate. He sighed to himself as he switched his attention to the outside world. After inspecting the situation, Fang Yuan immediately took action to help Wu Shuai with the repair of the GU house. They managed to alleviate the situation, but it was not enough. Suddenly, Wu Shuai gasped. Why are spectral soul's attacks getting slower? Fang Yuan realized at once. He said, I created a fake main body over in myriad-year flying warship, it seems to have worked. Spectral soul is hesitating now, he has always been worried that I would escape. He has no idea that Dragon Palace is about to collapse, he thinks the rank 8 Immortal GU house can still last for some time. If my main body, in myriad-year flying warship escapes during this period, even if he manages to take down Dragon Palace and kill you, his plan will fail regardless. Wu Shuai's eyes shined. It will be great if we can deceive him now. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc. please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2039 Sorrowful Wind Mountain Range, Wang Xiao'er. 2039 Sorrowful Wind Mountain Range, Wang Xiao'er. It'll be difficult. Fang Yuan sighed deeply. Almost the same time as he said that, Spectral Soul, who was outside, attacked even quicker than before. Spectral Soul shouted coldly, Fang Yuan, you are truly a disappointment. How long are you going to hide? I'll tell you the truth, Fairy Ziwei has already deduced your location earlier. Entrusting your hope to deceit, this is the way of the weak. I gave you sovereign immortal fetus GU, it was truly a waste. Come out and fight me. In this case, even if you die, people of the world will not say that you were cowardly, being afraid of the strong while bullying the weak. Damn it. Wu Shuai's hope was dashed, he could not help but grit his teeth. Fang Yuan snorted coldly, frowning and not answering. From his perspective, what was the point of reputation? What he cared about was whether Fairy Ziwei really succeeded in her deduction. Was Spectral Soul trying to deceive him now? Was it all an act just to bait out Fang Yuan? The Qi Si clone had already left, so Fang Yuan did not know about the situation over there. Even now, the wisdom path formation is still working. We cannot forget another possibility, that is Fairy Ziwei trying to delay Heavenly Court and Longevity Heaven's action by telling Spectral Soul about the results secretly in advance. Sigh, I can't care about it now. Fang Yuan sighed as he quickly tossed away this question. It was not that he found out the truth, but Dragon Palace's current condition was too dangerous, he had no choice but to take action. Fang Yuan opened the door of his immortal aperture slightly, letting out the immemorial year beasts that he had prepared. Several immemorial year beasts roared as they charged out of Dragon Palace, attempting to destroy the black smoke spiral, while a few of them charged towards Spectral Soul. Your efforts are futile. Spectral Soul made his move, black smoke spread out from his body and whipped up a dark storm, shrouding the surrounding over an immense range. He pointed repeatedly with his finger, each attack only carried a trace of smoke but it was incredibly fast, the power was overwhelming. When the black smoke hit the immemorial year beasts, it immediately expanded into countless dense smoke chains that binded the immemorial year beasts. The immemorial year beasts struggled but the black smoke chains were boosted by the black smoke spiral, they became thicker and tighter. The immemorial year beasts could struggle at first but soon they became unable to move, they were swept away by the spiral without resistance. These are just petty tricks, you are truly a disappointment, Fang Yuan. Spectral Soul flew up into the sky as he looked down at the black smoke spiral. The great rank 8 Immortal GU House Dragon Palace was like a toy, once its details were exposed, it was completely toyed around with like a harmless object. Wu Shuai gritted his teeth, activating the killer move Dreamy Light Smoke. Spectral Soul chuckled, spitting out several soul balls. The tadpole-like soul balls had tails, they moved rapidly in the air, quickly entering the immemorial year beasts. Thin black chi appeared around the immemorial year beasts' bodies, the black smoke chains fused into the black chi and caused it to become much thicker. The three immemorial year beasts regained freedom, they growled angrily as they attacked Dragon Palace. One of the immemorial year beasts directly jumped into the range of Dreamy Light Smoke. Their control was actually taken over by Spectral Soul. Dreamy Light Smoke swept away one immemorial year beast, Wu Shuai felt powerless. With Spectral Soul controlling the situation now, he had ample time and initiative, Dreamy Light Smoke could no longer pose a threat, it was just a small problem. The Soul Path killer moves that Spectral Soul was using now were all unheard of by Fang Yuan and Wu Shuai, they had never seen any moves like these. The foundation of a rank 9 Venerable was truly unfathomable. High in the sky, the Wisdom Path formation continued to operate. Fairy Ziwei stayed at the central control area, she showed an appearance of working her hardest to make deductions. Longevity Heavens and Heavenly Court's immortals surrounded the Wisdom Path formation. Qin Dingling silently looked at the Wisdom Path formation, Just earlier, Heavenly Court transmitted news that the few GU immortals staying back successfully suppressed Di Zhangsheng. Di Zhangsheng was hit by Primordial Origin's Chi Path Killer move, its condition was slipping rapidly. When Fang Yuan escaped, he abandoned it to its own demise. Now, it was not strange that Heavenly Court's GU immortals suppressed it. This point alone showed how anxious Fang Yuan was. He even gave up something like Di Zhangsheng. It showed that he was at his weakest point. And this fact amplified Qin Dingling's killing intent towards Fang Yuan. This was a rare opportunity that could not be lost. After suppressing the evil dragon, the remaining GU immortals started to repair Heavenly Court Grotto Heaven. They quickly fixed the holes. Heavenly Court's crisis was finally alleviated. This also allowed Qin Dingling to let out a sigh of relief, but she still had other worries. Qi ancestor has just left recently. With Dragon Palace's speed and direction, it should have already reached Intestinal Gorge, right? Qin Dingling thought to herself. Fang Yuan escaped in Dragon Palace, moving out of immemorial White Heaven and into Central Continent. This enraged Heavenly Court and also caused them to be worried that the aftermath of the battle might cause severe losses. Intestinal Gorge was the northern entrance of Sorrowful Wind Mountain Range. It was created during the Olden Antiquity era when a beastman expert died and fused with the surrounding mountains. It was under the control of one of Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects, Black Heaven Temple. Qin Dingling had already transmitted the details to Black Heaven Temple, asking them to send out their immortal GU house and move along Intestinal Gorge. If there was a chance they would strike, if the enemies were too strong, they would abandon Intestinal Gorge and preserve their strength as the main goal. After receiving Heavenly Court's orders, Black Heaven Temple went into an alert state. They mobilized all of their strength and started to move out. But after waiting for a long time, they did not see Dragon Palace nor Spectral Soul. Qin Dingling did not know that Spectral Soul had already intercepted Dragon Palace along the way. They were still above the sky of Sorrowful Wind Mountain Range. Sorrowful Wind Mountain Range was huge, extending over hundreds of thousands of li. Compared to other mountain ranges, it was relatively gentle. The resources here were not abundant, most of the mountains were barren. Thus, even though it was in Black Heaven Temple's territory, they did not care much about it. This place mostly produced wind path resources. In the past, a rank 7 GU immortal of Wind Cloud Manor came here to cultivate in seclusion. He managed to break through to rank 8. It was Old Man Bei Feng. It was a pity that his life was filled with hardship. He first got captured by Fang Yuan during the Fate War and became enslaved by Dragon Palace. In the intense battle earlier, Old Man Bei Feng died already. He was not the only one. All of the 4 dragon generals died in this battle. Even the strongest of the enslaved, Di Zhangsheng, was now suppressed by Heavenly Court. On a certain mountain of Sorrowful Wind Mountain Range, several youngsters were herding sheep. They got into an argument. A youngster was being bullied. He was the weakest and thinnest person here. He took several steps back amidst the argument. Wang Shaoer, this mountain is occupied by us. There is no place for you here. Scram now, get lost from our sight. Several youngsters wore thick leather jackets. They had muscular bodies and vicious expressions. Wang Shaoer's clothes were patched up with many tattered areas. He looked like a beggar. He resisted weakly. But my sheep need to eat. If I do not feed them sufficiently, uncle and aunt will beat me up when I return. The youngsters laughed loudly. The strongest one struck and pushed Wang Shaoer to the ground. Go to the other mountain to herd your sheep. There is still some grass there. Scram now, otherwise, I will break your leg. The muscular young man threatened viciously. Wang Shaoer struggled to get up. He did not resist. He only moved his small group of sheep and left the mountain. He walked with his thin legs, crossing rivers and steep paths. There was no road on the mountain. Wang Shaoer often fell down and suffered bruises from the hard rocks on the ground. Only the sheep behind him were traveling without any problems. Wang Shaoer finally found a small patch of grass. The sheep got tired and thirsty after running around. Even without his command, they went forward and competed to eat the food. Wang Shaoer was so tired he laid down on the rock and watched the sheep fighting to eat. He sighed to himself. Recently, the sorrowful winds in the mountains are getting more violent. There is less and less grass available. That is why they chased my sheep away from that grassland. The patch of grass was tiny. It was completely gobbled up by the sheep after some time. The stronger sheep ate the most food while the remaining sheep growled in hunger. Wang Shaoer shook his head. This mountain had little grass. It was scattered all over the place. If he wanted to feed all the sheep, he would need to head to another mountain. It would not only waste time but energy as well. Oh sheep, at least you guys have food. In order to feed you all, I will definitely have to return late. I will definitely be beaten up by uncle and aunt, I will have to eat leftover rotten food. Even though Central Continent was the most developed among the 5 regions, most of the mortals still lived difficult lives, it was common to starve. Right at this time, there were suddenly rumbling noises heard. Wang Xiao'er raised his head. This was a strange situation, why was there thunder rumbling in this bright sky? After that, he slowly opened his mouth and saw a shooting star falling from the sky. The shooting star became larger and larger in his vision, winds became stronger, the rumbling sounds were deafening, even the temperature of the air rose. Wang Xiao'er was completely stunned, he froze on the spot, the surrounding sheep sensed the danger, they started crying out and running around. Not just the sheep, the wild beasts on the mountains were also scrambling, the originally quiet mountain suddenly became very lively. As the shooting star got closer, Wang Xiao'er finally got a good glimpse of it. This shooting star was actually a mountain-sized beast. The wild beast crashed down with a loud sound, coincidentally, it was the mountain that Wang Xiao'er lived on. The mountains collapsed as rocks flew, earth shook as the mountain trembled, dust clouds rose up rapidly. The village on the mountain was instantly destroyed, there were anguished cries of people mixed with the growls of beasts, Wang Xiao'er could hear these sounds spreading through the air currents produced. Rumble rumble rumble. As Wang Xiao'er stared with a frightened gaze, terrifying cracks were spreading on the ground, soon, the surroundings of the mountain peak also cracked, they fell apart piece by piece. The youngsters who chased Wang Xiao'er away earlier all met with a disaster. Am I going to die? Wang Xiao'er sat on the ground helplessly. He seemed to have lost all of his strength, he could only watch as the dust clouds devoured him like a hungry beast that ate everything in its path. Inside the dust clouds were countless rock shards carried by the wind. One of them hit Wang Xiao'er's forehead. Before he fainted, his final thought was that of confusion, why did a giant beast fall from the sky? If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc. please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2040 Qing Mouth. 2040 Qing Mouth. Above the clouds, in the sky. Dragon Palace barely managed to create a golden light to shield itself, but it was trapped inside the black smoke spiral, resisting against the ferocious attacks from the outside. Only 3 immemorial year beasts that Spectral Soul took control of were left. The rest were all defeated by Wu Shuai using Dragon Palace. As for their falling corpses and what mountains they destroyed, how many people they killed, nobody in this battle cared, they could not afford to bother with the devastating disaster that a mortal boy like Wang Xiao'er experienced. The remaining 3 immemorial year beasts regained their senses after the black smoke dissipated, they fought against Spectral Soul once again. But Wu Shuai had a heavy mood. These immemorial year beasts were collected by Fang Yuan in an attempt to restore his 12 zodiac battle formation, at this crucial moment, he had to use them for battle. The result was that due to Spectral Soul's methods, they became used by him instead. After the fight earlier, the remaining 3 immemorial year beasts were all injured, they could not be used to break out of this situation. Spectral Soul easily managed to resolve Fang Yuan's method, he dealt with the situation without breaking a sweat. Not only could Spectral Soul control soul beasts, ordinary enslavement path methods were also useless against him, he could use it against the enemy instead. Wu Shuai was deeply worried. At this rate, how long can we last? Fang Yuan frowned tightly, his opponent was Spectral Soul now, he was trying hard to maintain his defense, but inside Sovereign Immortal Aperture, the myriad tribulation was rampaging and causing destruction. After this short while, Mini Southern Border lost many resource points, his losses were rapidly increasing. The bigger problem was that even if Fang Yuan gave up a portion of his immortal aperture, he could not break free from the myriad tribulation. This was because the heaven path Dao marks that created the tribulation were very special, they could move around. He had to endure the myriad tribulation forcefully to get past this biggest hurdle. Spectral Soul's eyes shined with cold light, he did not chase after his enemies and attack Dragon Palace again, instead, he looked away. In his vision, a black dot appeared. Soon, this dot expanded as a legendary immemorial beast showed its appearance, it had a tortoise shell, 4 tiger paws, dragon tail, snake neck, and a human head. Its hair was disheveled and it had a twisted expression filled with insanity. It was Qing Chou who had caught up. Spectral Soul did not avoid Qing Chou's pursuit, instead, he started to smile coldly. Since you are here to court death, that will be the best outcome. However, when Qing Chou reached Spectral Soul, the corner of its tortoise shell split open as a pair of bat wings formed instantly. This was very similar to the wings of the green claw ghost-winged lion. Immortal killer move, Qing Mouth. Qing Chou opened its mouth, As it had a human face, its mouth was not big, but right now, its mouth opened to form a huge green black hole. The hole expanded rapidly, it shot out and devoured Spectral Soul in one mouthful. The hole rapidly shrunk as it entered Qing Chao's mouth. Qing Chou swallowed as it gulped, a ball could be seen flowing down its snake neck, into its stomach. Good chance. At this moment, brilliance flashed in Wu Shuai's eyes. This move was left behind to deal with you, scumbag. Qing Chou roared loudly in joy after devouring Spectral Soul, memories surfaced in its mind again. What, all 3 GU immortals we sent were killed by Mingyu? Impossible, but that is the truth. Mingyu first pretended to be weak and got injured on purpose, causing our 3 immortals to split up to look for him. He ambushed them at a corner and found the opportunity to launch a shameless sneak attack on them. Out of carelessness, all 3 immortals met with their demise. Qing Clan's hall turned silent. They wanted to restore their reputation but they ended up suffering even greater losses. A rank 7 GU immortal was not easy to nurture, especially when they were elite rank 7 GU immortals of Qing Clan. The losses were really huge for Qing Clan, their foundation was definitely shook. Mingyu deserves death. We were too careless. This lesson is very important, we need to remember it and pass it down to the future generations. I am going to deal with him personally. Qing Clan First Supreme Elder said. The immortals were silent, nobody expressed their objection. Sending a rank 8 GU immortal against the rank 7 Mingyu was really not something to be proud of. But Qing Clan could not afford to lose anymore, all of the super forces in Western Desert were watching them like a joke. However, when Qing Clan's First Supreme Elder was about to set off, he received a challenge letter. This letter came from another Western Desert super force which had deep enmity with Qing Clan. They requested a battle with Qing Clan First Supreme Elder, wanting to use the result of this battle to decide their territorial boundary. Damn it, at this juncture. Qing Clan's GU immortals shouted immediately. They are doing this on purpose. But the territorial boundary determines the ownership of a resource point, the benefits involved are too much. What do you think? Qing Clan First Supreme Elder hesitated at this moment. I will go and end Mingyu's life. Qing Clan's Second Supreme Elder stood up. You. The First Supreme Elder hesitated. Second Supreme Elder smiled. I only have rank 7 cultivation level but Mingyu is heavily injured, he needs to recuperate. We have already learned of his details, even though his methods are innovative and peculiar, they are mostly soul-related. My immemorial desolate beast Green Claw Ghost Winged Lion is his nemesis. Not just that, I created an immortal move called Qing Mouth, I gained inspiration from the Green Claw Ghost Winged Lion and created it. Once used, it can devour souls. Don't worry everyone, I can definitely take this southern border GU immortal's life. Alright, go ahead, be careful on this trip. Eventually, First Supreme Elder nodded and agreed. With Second Supreme Elder taking action, we will definitely succeed. Mingyu is as good as dead, he is not a threat, our problem now is still this challenge letter. Second Supreme Elder, you must avenge Qinghua Lan and the rest. I finally took revenge for all of you. As his memories faded away, Qing Chou could not help become choked with tears, hot tears started to flow out of its red eyes. Revenge was finally taken, it felt relieved and free. Such a familiar sight, Spectral Soul spoke in a casual tone from within Qing Chou's stomach. Qing Chou's body instantly froze. Next, it felt bitterness. Deep bitterness, intense bitterness, an indescribable and unendurable bitterness. Bitter, it was too bitter. Ah! Qing Chou's expression turned pale, it gagged as it almost wanted to vomit. It quickly gritted its teeth, enduring desperately. The taste of bitterness surged like a huge tsunami, it crashed towards the limits of its endurance. Qing Chou growled in pain, its entire body was shivering from the bitterness, it could no longer fly as it fell towards the ground. While descending, it started to feel hungry. It was as if there was an empty space in its stomach. No, it was not just hunger, it was a sort of loss. It was as if its entire body was experiencing a loss. Now, you should know how Qing Clan's Second Supreme Elder died in my hands. Indeed, I purposely got hit by Qing Mouth killer move. Do you know why I am so confident? Hee. Spectral Soul chuckled from inside Qing Chou's stomach. Long ago, when Spectral Soul was still young, before he went up against Western Desert's Qing Clan, Mingyu, who was extremely successful in life, met with a wild Green Claw Ghost Winged Lion and suffered a terrible defeat. Impossible. The soul path I created actually failed to beat a beast. Even though it is an immemorial desolate beast, my soul path, how can my soul path be so pathetic and weak? Mingyu, who was tired after a long fight, fell to the ground. He stared at the Green Claw Ghost Winged Lion with a crazed expression of disbelief and indignance. The green claw ghost-winged lion stood on 4 legs, it looked at Mingyu who was on the sandy ground, its entire body was casting the shadow of death down on him. Next, the green claw ghost-winged lion lowered its head as it opened its bloodthirsty mouth. Plop! With a soft sound, the green claw ghost-winged lion bit off Mingyu's leg. Ah! Mingyu cried out in pain. After losing his entire right leg, blood poured out of the wound. The intense pain caused him to curl his body, twisting around on the ground. Soon, the surroundings were dyed red from blood. After biting off his right leg, the green claw ghost-winged lion swallowed it and felt annoyed by the moving Mingyu. It stretched out its right claw and pressed him firmly on the ground. No matter how Mingyu struggled, he could not resist the strength of this beast. The green claw ghost-winged lion lowered its head and bit off Mingyu's left arm this time, swallowing it. Mingyu cried out in pain again, his eyes turned white as he almost fainted from pain. The pain was even more severe this time. Earlier when his right leg was bitten off by the green claw ghost-winged lion, it was a quick action, but this time, his left arm was torn off forcefully. There was still a small chunk of flesh left on his shoulder, the white arm bone could be seen with the naked eye. Mingyu resisted, he used a soul path killer move with his full strength, but all his attack only impacted the green claw ghost-winged lion slightly, it did not move back at all. Because of the attack, the green claw ghost-winged lion lost its patience, it opened its mouth for the 3rd time and ate Mingyu entirely. It started to move its teeth and chew. Mingyu's body was pierced and minced, his bones were all shattered. His brain was not spared either, blood matter and brain matter mixed together, along with his minced flesh, they were all swallowed by the green claw ghost-winged lion. Only Mingyu's soul was left. However, the green claw ghost-winged lion could not digest human bodies, it only ate souls as food. Mingyu's soul could not escape from the green claw ghost-winged lion's stomach, he was rapidly broken down by the gastric acid. The shadow of death loomed over him. Mingyu's soul shook intensely, he realized that death was approaching him. Am I going to die? Dying in the mouth of a mere beast? Damn it, indignance. I am still too weak. I can do much more. I can definitely do more things, I have just created soul path. But his soul path methods were countered by the green claw ghost-winged lion. This immemorial desolate beast was simply the natural nemesis of Mingyu. I cannot die here, I will not accept this outcome. There must be a way, there has to be a way. My immortal aperture is still inside my flesh body, it is still with me. My GU worms are around too, but soul path is useless here. I still have food path. But the food path killer moves he had could not resist the green claw ghost-winged lion, otherwise, he would have used them already, he would not end up like this. If existing food path killer moves are useless, I will create new food path killer moves. This was wishful thinking, but for Mingyu, it was his only hope, even though the hope was extremely slim. Mingyu did not think about the unlikeliness of this action, he only focused on thinking, doing his best to create his concept. Never before was he so concentrated on something. His soul was still eroding, it became smaller and smaller. His thoughts were producing at an increasing slower speed. Soon, even his thoughts could not move anymore. I cannot give up. I have to think. I got it. U003CU003C. The Legends of Ren Zhu 003 EU003E. That's right, didn't Ren Zhu get eaten as well? If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Less than report chapter greater than so we can fix it as soon as possible.